What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Golden Dice podcast, an actual podcast, not just a gameplay video like I was about to say, but we are on episode 14. I hope your holidays and New Year's and all that were great, and we're excited to be back talking SWU with you. As usual, I'm hosting Jack, and I got my co-host Brian and Flock. How are you two doing tonight?
Great.
Doing all right.
Man,
A little perky now.
I wonder why you're a little perky. You got a little warm-up juice in you?
Yeah, a little warm-up juice.
Yeah, it's hydrated. That's hydrated.
Hydrate.
Hydrated.
But also, we brought on somebody to torture along the way. I'm sure anybody listening to us also knows of garbage rollers, and so we got Inception with us tonight. Inception, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
when in Rome, right? when working with Golden Dice, you drink.
Part of the team.
Embrace this real well.
Yeah, we go. Gosh, we go way back to Destiny days, and 2019? I think we even met up and shared a beer, but beyond that, I think just Discord.
You left the Worlds a little early that year. You had other things going on.
Yes, yeah. I sent.
But
Brian
me and Brian
flowers.
shared a lot of drinks.
Sure did.
Was that the night, Brian? No, that wasn't the night. Was that?
No, it was not the night.
Yeah, okay.
That was with another certain creator. Thunder.
Right.
Oh yeah, did you guys do like a lot of Fireball that night?
If I recall.
Did something.
I'm pretty
Don't
sure it was
recall.
Fireball.
But Inception, you want to give us like a little breakdown history of garbage rollers, where you guys started, where you're at now, and where you're looking to go in the new year?
Yeah, we all started playing back in Destiny. There's probably like, I don't know, 6 to 8 of us. A couple of them had been playing since the Star Wars CCG days, so they're pretty familiar with each other. Bounced around several games, and most of us came together during Destiny. When Unlimited got announced, we weren't excited about it, but then we got to play it whenever Gen Con rolled around, and liked it a lot. So we decided, why not? We already got a camera and stuff, so let's go ahead and start playing and making videos, and here we are.
I remember you got screwed over with your first spoiler because you were late to the party.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the art had already been spoiled, so I started like teasing little snippets of it, and was like, "Oh, it's Death Trooper."
Yeah, everybody
Oh.
immediately was like, "Oh,
Cool, guys.
Death Trooper, cool."
Glad we're on the same page.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, so you guys do daily gameplay, right, and articles 3 times a week? Is that what it is?
We do Monday through Friday videos and articles both. So
Okay.
I think SWU Holocron tweeted out the listing of how much content everybody had put out, and we were at like 150, and then you guys are at like 80, and Tower Number 9, FFG was at 100. So apparently we're just out here putting out all the gameplay.
I mean, yeah, if you're doing gameplay every day and like articles every day, that's 10 content a week. So you guys have been crushing it. Yeah, you're above FFG, even the company that made the game. So,
Gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah. No, they've done, anybody listening who hasn't checked them out, definitely go ahead and do that. They've got a lot of great like new player guides on top of like deck techs and just general strategies of the game as well. And I know Inception's been pretty big onto draft recently, and we even got to, you invited us to draft, not necessarily with garbage rollers, but kind of just getting us into a draft, and the 3 of us did it. And I know you've been enjoying that a lot, so I figured you were the first one to kind of call up and start talking about draft. And we got the stream yesterday, which was awesome. Little sad that they held back, I think, 2 cards, but totally understandable from their perspective. Like, I'm not really that bothered by it, but what did you guys all think of the stream yesterday? Brian, you can kick it off.
Yeah, anytime they get together, it's a fun time. And I mean, personally, the main takeaway I took away from the stream was the foil, hyperspace foils, and how good those cards look. I mean, they're gorgeous, gorgeous.
Did we get any hyperspace foils? I know we got foils.
Yeah, there was at
Yeah.
least one. I don't remember what it
Was
was.
it Partisan? I think.
Yes, it was a partisan.
Yeah.
Rebel partisan. Or
Parmesan
Shadow
cheese.
partisan.
Parmesan
Whatever
cheese.
that
Rebel,
thing's called.
Yeah. The Partisan.
Partisan Insurgent, sorry.
That one.
We got there eventually.
Yeah, gorgeous though. I mean, it looks great on camera. I can only imagine what it looks like in
Mhm.
person. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too. Like Brian said, I like seeing the cards. I didn't realize how like dark the blacks are. Like it looks so clean. And because when we do our print out versions of them, my toner's terrible, so they all look terrible. But seeing the actual cards like on the camera, I was like, wow, everything looks very nice.
I am gonna
and
clip that
also,
like first thing you said and make that a soundbite, just so you know.
but yeah, and then watching them do the draft was really cool, and then them explaining like 6 is the bare minimum basically is what they were saying, and then going up from there is better. And they said if you have less than 6, you should probably just do sealed. So that's good to know because they've obviously done it a bunch of times, and they said they talk about it. They do what I think they said in one of the interviews a while ago, like they do like one draft a month basically is what they do. They get together and do draft, which is pretty cool. So they know. But yeah, it's gonna be. Now I'm excited for draft. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, if you do 8, that is pretty much a box. So if you buy a box and get
Was
7
Destiny
friends.
6 or was it also 8?
So Destiny was 36 packs on a box, and you drafted with 6?
Yeah, I think it was 6.
Because you would open 3, or... Yeah, you open 3, and then pass, and then open 3. Maybe it was 9. I don't remember. That was so long ago.
And
Yeah.
not very memorable.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my biggest problem with Destiny Draft was there wasn't like a whole lot of decision space since you had the draft kit. All you had to do was find one 9-cost character in any of the 3 colors, and then you could run Rainbow.
Yep.
And so basically 80% of the drafts you were just picking the best cards you saw. Didn't matter what color it was or anything. There wasn't a whole lot of decision space there.
Yeah, whereas this one, I mean, from the one that we did, there's definitely a lot more. And we even played it wrong, right? We now got some of the correct rules, and I think the mind games actually now that we have with the way leaders are drafted. So we can even jump right into it, and I'll read a little bit of the article. But essentially, they're launching into sealed and draft and trying to explain what they are, and they say how draft is such an important part of a game maintaining popularity and people wanting to play and buying product, which is all super, super true. So everybody sits down at a table. You open 3 booster packs apiece. First, everyone takes out the leader cards from those packs while keeping the remaining cards in separate stacks without looking at them. And then once everyone's ready, each player simultaneously chooses one of the 3 leaders and then passes the other 2 to the right. Then each player chooses one from the 2, passes to the right, etc., etc. And so it goes around. So the way that I think pretty much everybody had been doing draft before is that whatever leaders you pulled in the pack got sent with the pack. So you were still picking one of 15, 16 cards? Why am I forgetting right now?
15 because you had scrapped the bases.
Scrap the bases, yeah. So you had one of 15. The leaders were mixed in there, but now we see you take the leaders out, and it does make sense because you can't hide them, right? If I took leaders out and I had the 15 cards in my hand, you would be able to tell what leaders were in there. But and the rare leader slot goes into rare leader would go into the leader slot, right? So there's no chance of being a leader in the other 15 cards as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, to me that's super interesting. I think that's a little different. At least I saw some mixed reactions to that in the Discord and even in the chat a little bit. But personally, I'm a fan. I just think the big part of this will be the simultaneous choosing. I mean, for our basement league, who really cares, right? If I pick a good character, I'm just going to slam it and not worry. But if there's events where draft matters, the simultaneous part will be pretty key. But how do you guys feel about taking out leaders and drafting them first before the rest of the pack?
Makes my job easier because like I'm always deciding what to do. It's like, all right, now I'm forced into 3 basically. Is it 3, right? You get
You end up with 3,
yeah. Yeah, you end up with 3, and you're basically forced into that. It's okay. I'm gonna pick the best one or whatever kind of thing. You kind of gotta stick with it. So I kind of like it personally, and then you don't have to worry about the other aspect because you just pick whatever you want to pick, and then you just pick the base that matches with the best cards you get. So it's nice because it feels like you can probably draft for cards that you need and want to play versus like the best combo. Because in this kind of game, I feel like going for like a specific combo might be a little bit more difficult.
It definitely makes it more casual friendly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest gain. The way we were playing it, I mean, technically, if you didn't know what you were doing, you could get to the 3rd pack and not have drafted a leader and then not be able to get one because everybody else grabs one. And so you eliminate that possibility. And obviously, since we were drafting on TTS, it didn't have the leader on the back, so it worked a little bit better passing it around. Nobody could see that what leaders were in the packs or anything. It's interesting because, like, since you open them all up front, obviously they're all double-sided, so you can look around the table and see what all's going on, what all's available. And so there's times you can really I guess it opens up more hate drafting, especially on the leader part. But you can also kind of see what people are picking and know they might be locked into, like Xander had 3 cunning leaders, and so he was gonna have to go cunning. And so you can kind of hate draft a little more based on that, knowing he's right beside you. If you see a really good cunning card, you might not want to send it to him, kind of thing. So it opens up a different decision space, whether it's better or worse. I mean, I think it definitely helps out the new players better. So I think that's a win.
Can't wait to hate draft Brian. Can't wait.
I think it's really nice too that, and Flock, I think you mentioned it first, that the 30 HP common bases are, since they're tokens, they're pretty much all just like put in the middle, or you can even. Did they say that you can just bring? Could I bring each? Okay, so
Tyler
yeah,
said he was gonna.
yeah,
Tyler said he was like, I'm gonna bring a set of every 30 cost base and just bring it with me when I draft.
Everything in the set is free. I mean, it's 30 HP, so it's functionally it's going to be the same. But the way they said that, I wonder if down the road common bases aren't going to be 30 HP.
yeah, that is interesting. They've still got there's a lot to be explored with bases. I feel like, which I'm excited to see. So yeah, they did the draft. They said they were able to grab the bases from the middle, and I feel like that while there is an ability to hate draft, especially in the instance like Xander where you know he has to be yellow, I do feel like there are, like, even if I know you have Tarkin next to me, there are still like there's still the question of, I know you're taking green villain, so I could probably hate draft in that sense, but it's still kind of a gamble to be like, oh, you're definitely going into red, or you're definitely going into blue, and like drafting around that. So I do like that. There's still the mystery of what is the other color that people are going to be playing. Because Josh, he was going for the mono blue deck because he wanted to play the mono blue or double vigilance card that he got, and then they said no, so he ran Sabine with like 3 red cards in his deck or something like that. So there could be ways to pivot and change like that, which I do like the fact that the bases are just in the middle, because I also like that with was it Flesh and Blood, Brian? Was it all the leaders were tokens or all the weapons?
Yeah. Everything was shared, so all the weapons, all the token weapons are shared. Like equipment wasn't, but weapons and leaders are.
Yeah.
Fair play, fair game.
Yeah, I liked it. Made draft for a better experience. So then after you do the leaders at this point, you then pretty much do a pack at a time, passing that around until there's no cards left. And so if you start doing that to the right, the next pack, your second pack, you go to left, and then your third pack, you finish to the right. Or I guess if you do leaders to the right, then the pack to the left, and then next pack to the right. So you just go back and forth every way. And so it says at the end of the process, you should have drafted 45 cards, the 3 leaders plus 42 other cards, and that is how you make your own deck. A draw deck have a minimum of 30 cards instead of the usual 50, but in addition, there's no limit to how many copies of the same card a player can include in their deck. So if you take 5 copies of Cell Block card and want to include all 5 in your deck, you can do so. Pretty standard draft rules, I feel like. Staying within the color, but you can include as many of the card that you draft as you want. I'm not sure drafting 5 Cell Block cards is the meta play, but hey, I can see Flock doing that.
Heck yeah, dude. I was just thinking, because like you could also, I know, right?
That's a
big
lot.
thing. I was thinking.
Everyone clicked off the video right now.
No, but like, so say you decide to change up in the middle of the draft and you want to switch, but you don't have 30 cards for that color. Since you can have like cards in your deck that are not like the aspect, it just costs 2 more. So that's the nice thing about that, is you can still switch up, and that's probably just going to be an instant, resource. So you could easily pivot, I guess you would say, because in Destiny you have basically to stick with your work, because if you were too far in, you couldn't really switch and pivot. And this you can pivot, because even if you're a couple cards short of the 30, you could easily just make it. I'll put it in the deck. I'll use it if I got the resources, but if not, I'll just resource it. So I like that aspect of it, so you can pivot a little bit later than you were anticipating.
Until you draw.
I don't know. Jackie pivoted like 3 times the other night. How'd that go for you?
Oh, it's perfect. I didn't lose my last game because I didn't play last game, I think. Did I play 3? I don't even remember if I did.
No.
I think we were too hydrated.
Technically, your last guy deleted his deck. So.
Yeah. That's why I saved mine as like a JSON or whatever, just in case I deleted it like that. My pack 1 pick 1 was Obi-Wan, and I didn't even play blue. I was nowhere to be found. I didn't even get. Who was my leader? Cassian?
Yeah, Cassian.
I don't think I drafted Cassie until like my second pick in the third pack. So I was literally just gripping and be like, all right,
Holy.
I hope nobody drafts these leaders because everybody has the leaders they want to play, and I'll take whatever's left. And we got there. We got there.
You still could have put Obi in your deck. Just cost 2 more.
Yeah, but that sounds rough. Like, I know it's like, you know, you can put it into your deck and you get the ability to play it +2, but then if like
Yeah.
if half your deck is all just like +2 curve, that's probably just a bad draft deck.
Well, yeah, your whole deck is yeah.
I mean, even if you get up to like 5 or 6, it's like, what if you draw? You're like, man, I need a good card, and then you draw 2, and they're both cards. You're like, I put these in here as resources. Like,
Yeah, right.
now I have both of them. I mean, but I do get what you're saying. That is nice that you have the flexibility of
Yeah,
doing that.
I like that ability of it. Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Player is free to change up their deck between rounds, so long as they stick to the cards they drafted. So you can run Tarkin red, completely blow it up, and play, you know, Jin green or something like that in the next round if you want. If you have the cards available to do that. And then they mentioned sealed. There really wasn't much to hit on for this. That's probably more similar to constructed play a little bit, and this is also going to be the format of the pre-release events if you are going to them. Pretty much you just get 6 booster packs, you open them up, and then you have to make a 30-card deck from there. Did they mention about yeah, you can use any common base. So that was what I wanted to confirm, is that in sealed you can bring the bases as well for that. So I really like that flexibility, because sealed I feel like you need that more, because what if you do just like whiff on, you know, you happen to get like 6 of the yellow common base or whatever within your boosters.
Well, for the pre-release, they have an OP kit that has all the common bases, like 6 copies of it or something. So even if you don't open one, you can grab one there.
Yeah, because nobody will be able to bring them to those events, because nobody will have
Unless you already went to one.
Yeah, yeah.
And you also get to use Vader or Luke in that.
Yeah, which that's really sick. I might just like force that just so I can like do it with one of them once. That's like the only opportunity you'll get for those 2 guys at least. But yeah, so then the rest of the stuff is the same. You can change your packs or your deck in between rounds, so long it's just the cards that you open in your 6 original booster packs. I know some places they even mention like you might get boosters for wins and stuff like that. You can't open that booster and then slot, you know, those 15 cards into the deck or whatever it might be. So sealed looks like fun. Pre-release I'll definitely be excited to play sealed, but draft is definitely going to be the format of these 2 that I'm going to be the most excited for. And they gave us a teaser at the end. Shane's going to have to come back. It's the twin sons, right?
Yep.
As with the many different ways to play. They're going to be teasing it a little bit. Pretty much everybody is guessing that that's just the multiplayer. I imagine it's just going to be a 2v2 format.
2v2. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder if they're going to have a free-for-all mode at all. Like, because Destiny had one. It wasn't really supported at all, but it existed in the rules. So if they're saying that's the last format, is it just because it's the last format you could play it at like a tournament or something? Or
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what that is. And then we're probably not getting that till February, though, unless they do something extra. Because the next stream is the website, and the one after that is
Store Showdowns and Sealed, or the pre-release kit, something like that.
Yeah. Pre-release plus Store Showdown kits. Cool.
Yeah. So
Well,
I
that's the
wonder if
31st.
I wonder if the Twin Suns thing is going to be 2v2 like just constructed, or if it's going to be 2v2 like draft. Because like Magic has like the 2-headed dragon draft, where you basically draft as 2 people, make 2 decks, draft 2 decks, and then you play 2v2. So I wonder if it's something like that. That'd be interesting, I think, because this game seems like it's very draft friendly. So like some sort of like 2-headed dragon draft from Magic, it seems like it can be done here.
I call not flock.
What's up?
Nothing. Love you and appreciate you.
Oh, you call it not flop. Okay.
All right. Any other thoughts from the stream? I do think one of the funnier moments for me was them trying to hype up IG a little bit and be like, it is good to just have a 5/4 unit that comes out for free and does 5 damage to base, and then IG just got smacked.
Takedown.
He didn't get to participate too much, and then ended up losing. But the games were fun.
Just
They were
like our
super
game.
interesting.
I think
it's
my
like our
favorite
game.
part was when they were like, the chat can vote on who's going to play. It's either Xander, who was the other person, Josh or Jeremy, and Jeremy was like, "You don't want to vote for me. I play slow."
Yeah. Hey, self-aware, you know. Josh was a great vote. I was glad we finally got to see him take a crack at a game. I guess we haven't seen Xander play either, but it was cool.
Yeah, and Josh kind of teased us Guardian of the Wheels in his hand.
Yep. I was what I love that Danny tried to bait him into attacking with Kanan, like at the end there, to then like have an out for some stuff. The metagame between the all the coworkers was pretty funny, since I'm sure they've drafted and played with each other a bunch. But so how many? So my question now too is, how often do you feel like you would want to draft? So game comes out March 8th. Your store's asking, what do you want to do between now and store showdown? How many times do you think you would ask them to draft at a weekly?
One
One. What?
1 week.
Once a week? Or
No,
just
no, no.
1 week?
1 week per. Maybe
One draft
one
per set is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
one draft set, maybe once every month between sets would be cool.
So 3 drafts per set,
Yeah.
or 4, I guess.
I'm probably about once per month. Because like I feel like we'll see since I'm getting a case. I only really care about draft for like I guess completing the set and then playing. I'm not so big on like just draft meta. I do like draft, but I don't think I want to do it just to draft. So it'll depend on how long it takes me to get all the cards. If I have all the cards, I don't want to keep doing draft. Because it's not that it's a waste of money, but it could be a waste of money for a gamble of getting an expensive card, you know? That's the way I feel about it. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on how much you're buying initially.
Yeah, so if I'm buying a case, it's like how many more packs do I really need on top of the weeklies I'm already, you know what I mean? So maybe
More.
once, twice when it, 2 times the first month and then after that, when the next set's coming out, I don't need to really do a draft towards the end. I feel like,
The limit does not exist, Flock.
Got to open
My
all
house-
the hyperspace.
My house needs to be flooded with cards that I'm not going to use.
Yeah, I'd probably go every other week. I think would be my ideal. Like anymore, like I wouldn't want to play it every week. It would get old at that point. But every other week's a good like often enough. I'm enjoying it, but not too often.
Yeah, I'm definitely split between like the once a month or twice a month, like every other week type thing. If I had to pick, I'd probably do every other week because, like, I mean, draft like really isn't that much more expensive. How much would it be to go in?
$15.
$15, which is probably what you're playing. Like our local Brian, we just went to One Piece last night. And we paid $15. So, I'm sure stores could maybe do like 20 on draft nights or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Imagine paying $15 to lose every game you played.
Yeah, not me. Certainly not me.
Yeah. It also depends on where it is in the season, though, because also, like, if you're coming close to, like, some of the big tournaments, you might not want to play draft that week, so you might want to
I'm
play
sure there's
more
something with
constructed.
if your store knows that there are store showdowns that Saturday, like,
Yeah.
hey, we're
Yeah.
doing constructed. We're gonna flex
Yep.
some draft. You can, standard or whatever.
I think it's definitely up to the community too, which is nice. I mean, it's definitely a result.
No, we have to decide for people across the country how many times they get to draft.
We're setting the rules, boys.
Yeah, me personally, I'm just not a big draft person, and I think that could change. But like the draft experiences that I've had are flesh and blood, which like, and that's it. And one Destiny, like
We did Destiny
So-
a few times. It's just not memorable.
I mean that game was not great for draft. So this I feel like has a definite like complexity to it, and there's enough options in the set that like make it interesting. And I mean, I could see myself coming around to it after I've done it a couple times, but like as it stands right now, not a positive experience with draft. No, I'm lying. I did have a fun time with the draft. I did it PAX. I forgot about that. That was a fun draft. Clearly we didn't do it right because we didn't know the rules, and they were very quiet about. You'll find out. So I mean,
I think he was referring to the bases at that point of us having to draft the bases, right?
well, I didn't do the leaders that way either. So
Well, yeah, the leaders you can kind of like still draft those like normal and it not be super challenging, but having to do the leaders and the bases, I think certainly.
but like doing it twice the unauthorized way, I enjoyed it. It is fun.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. For me, I view it as a separate way to like fill out the collection, but I don't use it as like a main mode to like fill it out. Like I'm not necessarily viewing draft as to like this is how I'm gonna complete my set. I think I'm also just viewing it as the alternative way to play the game.
And when y'all go to locals, like how long are y'all usually there? Is it like 6 to 8, 6 to 9, 6 to 10? What are we talking?
3 hours ish, maybe I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 hours probably.
So I mean, realistically, if you draft, you might get 1 or 2 constructed games after that.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, historically speaking, Jack and I always end up playing each other anyway. So, local or not, kitchen table or not,
Dude, not
always.
that One Piece we haven't really. We've been dodging each other at One Piece locals.
Yeah,
And
we
then
have.
James swept the floor with us
Yeah.
last night.
Well, that's fine. We always know what the outcome is anyway. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to give it a try. It seems like it's one that I'm definitely open to doing frequently, and it is something that I could see be like, all right, guys, let's do it every other week, and then we're finishing up the second month, and I'd be like, all right, let's for 3 and 4 months, let's do just one time. But I'm really excited to do this multiple times, and I feel like it will be valuable and even comparable just to doing standard each week. So W for me. I'm glad we got draft rules in. I'm glad we know how the game works. I don't have to be the worst in the draft room. So that was the issue. I didn't know the full rules, and I feel like I couldn't dive in. I had to pass on OB because I didn't know the full rules going into it.
That was you?
I was one of them. One OB got passed to like 4 people, I think.
I never saw an OB. I would have picked that up right away.
My pack one pick one when I took Obi-Wan and then never played him also had OB. And quite frankly, I didn't remember that until Inception made fun of me for it at the end. And so I rewatched the VOD and I was like, there it is. It's right there, right next to Obi-Wan.
Well, Wu told me what picks they were, and so I just mathed out who would have saw it first, and I was like, okay, you had one.
This idiot. Last time we invite him.
Whatever. I think the other interesting thing to note is back in the comp OP stream, they said constructed would be the format for the first year, but they kind of hinted that it wouldn't always be the only format. So, I mean, I know Fab does draft at big events, so I wouldn't be surprised if Swoosh transitions that with how much the devs love it.
Yeah, actually, at the last Fab tournament I went to in Florida, me, Tommy, and Scott went, and Scott actually won his way back into the main event. It was like a last chance qualifier with a draft event the morning of,
Nice.
the top cut. So I mean, that's an interesting way to throw a draft out there as maybe not a main event situation all the time, certainly, but like fun side events and possibly a last chance. So
Didn't some of their events like mix and match it too? Like I
Mhm.
could have sworn there was one where it was like, yeah, you did Swiss for the first like 6 rounds, and then whatever the top cut was, then did
top cut was draft.
draft, and then
Mhm.
maybe even went back to standard or something. But yeah,
But I'm not in the business of complimenting Fab, so
hey, if you're gonna compliment anything about them, you can compliment their organized play strategy. I feel like they've got it down
Yes.
pretty well.
they figured that out pretty good. I will say.
So yeah, I mean draft. I mean, if you asked me that when we played Fab, and I would have hated it, but I'm open to the idea of going back and forth. Like part of me wants to be like, no, if we're playing in the World Championship or whatever, I want it standard through and through and see the best player rise up through constructive play. But I know that best player isn't necessarily as binary as a standard. So
Yeah.
open to it, but we'll see. How do we feel? I guess we're gonna get into spoilers a little bit in general, but how do we feel about the card reveals within the stream? Were we excited? Was there any that stood out to us as the card that you were most excited to see out of the what did we get? 15, including the 3 bases, the 3 common bases.
Yes.
I saw a card for my monochronic deck that I liked.
What the cargo?
Argo Juggernaut, dude. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I really like the art on Devotion with Luke swinging with Yoda on a backpack.
Yes.
That one's real fun. I think like as far as constructed goes, like Strike True and Traitorous are probably the two cards they're going to see a lot. Maybe Mon Mothma too. The rest are a lot more either draft fodder or real situational.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mon
I
Mothma
found
is
it.
probably who I'm most excited for. I've cooled on Tarkin, but I feel like playing him can be awkward on turn 3, right? He costs 4, whereas I feel like just opening with Mon Mothma is like a play you're happy to do, where something you can't do that with Tarkin. So just paying 2, playing her search, I like that a lot more than Tarkin's curve.
Yeah, I found it interesting for Mercenary Company. I like that one. Just the fact that they're already going towards like having 2 keywords, because that one has ambush and overwhelm. So the fact that they're already open up to that, like in set 1, like okay, we're really gonna do anything, is what is pretty interesting. So there's a lot more to come, is what I see from that.
They're gonna come, dude. They absolutely will.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that was cool. It was cool to see the packs pass. Cool to see new cards. Definitely spoiled. Brace yourselves for IG88 this Friday. We got that announcement as well, which I'm content with because I'd almost rather end with the consensus that the green villain is Palpatine. So I'm okay with them doing a villain. IG officially spoiled this weekend, and then doing whatever the blue hero is 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that being the Palp Daddy.
I have a question, Jack.
Yes.
How was it? What was it like modeling for one of these cards? You're on one of these cards, you know.
Oh yeah, which one?
I'll let you figure that out,
One of the newest ones?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know exactly which one he's talking about,
bro.
Uh-huh.
They made you look so cool, honestly.
dude. It's so agitating, dude.
Oh my god.
Jedi had.
Hold my beer.
It's like people would meme me that saying "Hold my beer." I mean that fits, I guess, right? Hold my beer.
Your hair's a little bit longer than that, but
And my beard's longer.
The
and your
luxurious
beard's
mane.
longer.
Yeah,
I thought,
it's-
dude,
it's
I
crazy.
immediately scrolled right to Bounty Hunter crew. I was like, all right, who do I look like in here?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Man, you gotta share some of the hair with Brian.
Yeah, what did you say, Jack? You can get a haircut and donate to Locks for Love or whatever. It was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
donate to Brian.
I have
Uh,
hair.
That's pretty loving.
I have hair. It's just not, you know.
Right now you do.
there. Yeah.
Ball player seems good.
Ball guy seems like a solid
Ball
player.
guy.
That's what
Golden Dice lost their best player.
I have lost more since I grew hair. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the stream? On draft in general?
Another banger, dude. Another day, another FFGW. What kind of world are we living in anymore?
W after W, man. I'm telling you, I
New.
posted the article in like a few different Discords in our local game stores, and some people were like interested about it, and they're like, "But it is FFG." I was like, "Nah, dude, trust me, completely
Brave
different."
new
Not this
world.
FFG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so we haven't podcasted in 3 weeks. I think I said that, or maybe I said that pre-recording. So we got a lot of spoilers to catch up on. We're pretty much going to rapid fire through some of these because some of the ones from 3 weeks ago, like we're starting at Redemption, and we've had the chance to play with some of these cards. So rather than speculation, if you played with it, feel free to just chime in and say where you've liked it. Maybe ways that you ended up trying it and didn't like it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll kick us off, and we'll go around reading them as we normally do. Inception, you can hop in with the reading too as well if you're following along. But I'll kick us off with the first one. The first one is a space unit, 8 cost, Hero Blue, Redemption. It's a medical frigate, 6 attack, 9 health. It's a rebel vehicle, capital ship.
Nice.
Sentinel. I was like, what? Did I say something? Did I do flock? But no. It's just
Hey.
nice. It's a nice card. And then when played, heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units and/or bases. Deal that much damage to this unit.
Endor bases.
Endor. I said Endor. Endor. You can
Endor.
heal 8
Endor
from
bases?
Yeah. I've liked it. I've probably misplayed it the first few times in sequencing of how I should have done stuff. The first few times that I used this, but the stocks of this also went up when Force Throw got revealed for me. So I think it's a pretty good card. I think it gives some immediate response compared to like Home 1, which is probably the other like 8 cost capital ship you're looking at in Hero. Granted, that's in green, so different colors. But I think this compares better than I originally thought. But I still don't think it's necessarily like a world beater. It just helps stall out the game for your better finishers to get there. But that's my initial reaction to it.
Pretty sure Brian played it in today's video for y'all.
I did,
know.
and I wouldn't have won the game without it and Jack's help.
Yeah, that was a huge
Uh,
game turner right
Oh, was
there.
that today's game? Well, yeah,
That was his game.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Where I
and-
spent about 7 minutes going back and forth on how many actions they needed to go backwards.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now just restart the game, guys. Just go
Yeah,
back.
let's restart it. Yeah, let's go back.
Remember exactly what your mulligan was. And was redraw.
Yeah, no, it's bigger than I gave it credit for, and especially paired with Luke in that specific instance, was huge. Elsewhere, we don't know yet.
That's really where
Yeah.
we've only tried it at, I think, so
Yeah,
far.
just
is
Luke, right?
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah, I've seen it played in Chewbacca, and I could see it working there too. It's a weird card because it's like more of a game extender than a game swinger. It's not necessarily like bringing you back when you're losing to winning, but it kind of stalls it out longer to maybe do that with other things. I initially like wasn't a huge fan for that reason because it costs 8, and so usually you're not wanting to extend the game at that point. Like you either needed to swing or you're losing. But I feel like we've gotten some more tools like force throw and stuff lately that like you can kind of get the games to get a little longer. And so I think it has more play than I thought it would initially. So I put in Luke Red. I still haven't drawn it when I could actually play it, so I have no idea. But it seems like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think it's really good because not only does it stall the game, but also if you're already up ahead, I think this is a great card because say you have like one of your big units already out there taking some damage because this is and/or units or bases, so you can do
And/or?
base and unit. Yep. So I think it can be very good if you're ahead because even if you don't have much health to heal in your base, heal some units that need some healing done to do more damage to really push the throttle down. But yeah, it just pushes the game to the next round basically because essentially you're healing the base plus since it's sentinel the other person if space has to basically attack it or spend resources in a card to remove it that's already taken a bunch of damage, so it really makes them use multiple cards, resources, and units to get rid of it for 8, so it puts you next round if you have something else you can draw to play, so it could be a huge game changer in my opinion.
Cool. Brian, you want to take the next one away?
No, I hate this card. For a cause I believe in is a 3-cost red hero event. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. For each hero card revealed this way, deal a damage to any base. You may discard any of the revealed cards and put the rest back on top of your deck in any order. I have been burned by this card more times than I care to admit, and it's only been out for like a hot minute. So, card is sick nasty. It's a closer almost. I think it has been used as a closer on me most every time.
And me.
But it's sick. This is a crazy card.
Yep, good card.
I hate it.
I
I think
yeah.
your Tyler's been pretty burned by this card as well, many times.
He actually burned me with it this week, so.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a good card. My initial thought was, like, do you build Sabine at 47 hero cards just to really maximize it and get 4 most of the time? And, I mean, there was a few times where I played it where I got 5 or 6 damage because Fighters for Freedom was out a couple times. So, I've kind of come back on that. I think you still want to run, like, the 2 tubes and Partisan Insurgents, kind of a few more cards to get down to, like, I don't know, anywhere from 35 to 40, 41 hero cards, because those cards are just so good. But you're still getting 3 most of the time with For a Cause and dropping 1 damage to run better cards. So it's really good, though. Like, you're always happy to keep it in your hand as long as you can and then play it near the end of the game to close out.
Yep, Sabine can punch you right in the throat, and then even if they stall out by round 5, they can just play this from hand and close it out. Really good. And it's also really nice too because you can then pick what, even if you don't get it from there, you can then pick what you're getting in your next hand out of those 4 cards as well, because you can discard 2 of them if you don't want them at all, or
Change order.
send them at the bottom. Yeah, not the bottom of the deck, but the bottom of those four cards. So yeah, really good, and pretty much everything it does. There's almost no drawback other than the fact that you let your opponent know what you're going to draw as well, unless you discard all 4. Then nobody knows still.
Yeah, it's crazy the fact that it's not like you must discard all 4, like that you can put them back in the top of all 4 in your own order. That's the crazy part about the card, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes also though, just telegraphing what you're going to do can be hard. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it doesn't
I mean,
matter if
well,
you draw into
to be
another
fair,
4 calls, but
yeah, to be fair, you're also probably playing Sabine in this case, and you kind of know what she's doing, so you're not really too worried, But
It's pretty good in Leia too.
yeah,
Yep.
Leia.
If
Yeah,
you
also
play
a
this
fast
card,
pick, yeah.
I don't like you.
Alright.
You're a loser.
Yeah.
I've actually liked playing Leia more than I've liked playing Sabine the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Leia's tough. Leia's tough to beat. But action cheating, she's like 4 speed on a stick.
And still gets initiative, baby.
Yep.
Flock, why don't you take the next card?
The next one is Keep Fighting. It's an event, 2 cost, red, and it says ready a unit with 3 or less power. I feel like this is 100% a draft card.
Hmm.
Maybe an IG deck or a GI, but other than that, yeah.
Banana Crapshoot actually runs this in his Sabine as an extra reach card. So basically swinging with a 3 power unit another time one round.
Okay.
Which is like every
That's it.
card in that deck except for like K2SO maybe, right?
Uh-huh.
Including your leader.
Yep. Basically just another 4 cause, but caps at 3. And it's 1 cost cheaper.
Yeah. I haven't necessarily given it a go in aggression, but or like in an aggro deck like that, but it has felt pretty nice in my limited games of like Grand Inquisitor of resetting, and it's actually kind of surprising how fast he could race and do damage and stuff too. But outside of those 2 scenarios, yeah, I haven't really found a place for it or like even a want to give it a try. Yeah. Inception, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, we got a 2 cost cunning villain unit. It's called Cartel Spacer. Goes into space, obviously. It's Underworld Vehicle Fighter. It's a 2 power, 3 health unit. When played, if you control another cunning unit, which is yellow, exhaust an enemy unit that costs 4 or less. So it's a pretty good villain cunning card.
Yeah. I feel like villain cunning doesn't really have like good space options until you get to like fire spray. Like what are the other cheap
Defender's
options like
fine
that?
at 3.
Yeah, defender's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking. I guess it's technically a turn 1 drop, but you still don't love necessarily playing it. But like this to me at least feels like if you have to play it turn 1, it's not like the worst.
Yeah.
Thing in
It's
the
just
world.
an
It's like 2,
X-Wing.
3.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I think I clutched out a game with this one this week.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just exhaust and getting your own body on the board can definitely swing different rounds to make it in your favor. So I like it a lot. I think it's good. I think pretty much every yellow villain deck I've played, I've had this in pretty much. I mean, well, I feel like I say that as I've mostly played Boba Mono Cunning. So yes, I've been playing it a lot, but that also is a deck that can only have yellow villain in it. I mean, it probably makes some cuts in some of the different Boba builds. I forget what my Boba Green is off the top of my head already, too, but I don't know. Oh, wait, if that's in there. I think it's in there.
Should be.
Yeah, it should be. There's no reason not to. So, yeah, I think it makes the cut in most things, and it works well. It's a decent body, and then exhausting 4 or less is really good. All right, on to the next one. Bodhi Rook. A 3-cost ground unit, Imperial Defector. He is a cunning, so double aspect of cunning to play him. He's a 3/3. He's an Imperial and a Rebel. And it says, when played, look at opponent's hand and discard a non-unit card from it. Absolutely love him. He makes playing mono Boba so much more fun. I really haven't played any other mono yellow decks too much. Han actually seems like fun, and Jin too, but I've mostly been Boba. And him just like the turn before you know what they're about to play, like, hey, I'm probably going to lose next turn if they actually do play Overwhelming Barrage. And, you can play that. Or if you have the initiative, open up with it. So I really like it at clearing out some stuff from hands. And
Seems
3/3
good.
isn't terrible either. So
Yeah.
it's under the curve for ground, but I mean, I think it's fine with the ability that you're getting from it.
Yeah, it's a strong ability.
Yep. I like it. Like it a lot.
Yeah, you're happy to play it for 3. You're never gonna play it for 5.
Correct.
Yep.
I feel like they have done a pretty decent job at all the double aspect ones where it feels good for their cost, but you're not wanting to play it with the penalty of 2.
My worry is if we get like 3 sets in, and if they keep doing like 3 mono cards per color each set, do we end up with just everyone playing mono because all the cards are a little bit better, and you basically make a full deck out of them?
Yeah, and then you just fill it in with the other good cards, like of that color that are just hero or villain.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if we keep getting a lot in the future sets, or if it's just like 1 per set, because they've kind of like laid a foundation for this first set.
Because it does feel like we're right there almost. Like the yellow's like the only really one we can look at, right? Because that's the only one we have 3 of. But
Mm-hmm.
Boba Cunning just feels like he's already there. And
We can look at green and say it's not there.
oh yeah, well, Attack Pattern Delta is
It's a
a
card.
card. Command is awesome. I do like playing Command, but I hope that third double green card is good. Cool. All right, Brian, you got the next one.
Crafty Smugglers, a 2-cost yellow ground unit. 2/2 comes in shielded. He's an underworld unit. Awesome card. I dig it a lot. I pulled 2 of these in the draft we did on TTS, and he was clutch because people had to commit 2 swings or use a piece of removal. So pretty great for the cost. I think shielded's a really strong keyword.
Yeah. Double trade, or they have to trade a specific thing into it, right? Like Sabine could ping the shield off and then kill him and stuff, but generally Sabine decks are trying to go face anyways and whatnot. So
Poor little bro.
Yeah, he's a strong
Something like
2-drop. I think the only time he felt bad was somebody ECL'd Akbar in on him, so did the 1 to knock off the shield and then pinged for 2. Which it's like, yeah, I'm kind of really happy that you used ECL on a 2-cost unit, but
yeah.
definitely made him feel bad.
How often are you ECLing Akbar in, though? I mean,
Right.
Yep. Now, that's an awesome play if it's like pinging a shield off a big unit and then you deal like 4 into it and kill it. But to my Crafty Smuggler, sure.
Yeah, not too worried about you trading ECL for that.
Yeah.
it's kind of like ECLing Rito into an exhausted Yoda.
To then have no other ground units to deal the damage into.
Mm-hmm. After Yoda already had 3 damage on him.
Yes.
That's just a weird scenario. I'd think of that, out of nowhere. Anyway.
Flock, you got the
It's
next
common.
one, right? You love this card
Yeah.
too, so I think it's pretty fitting.
Yeah. So volunteer soldier, 3-cost unit, ground, 2/3 trooper, raid 1, and if you control a trooper unit, this unit costs 1 less to play. Now I originally thought this was fantastic and started putting it in on my Iden decks, and then Jack's like, "Stop it! It's a draft card." So I'm gonna say this is stop it. It's a draft card. That's all I was told to say.
Yeah, I mean, you're effectively looking at it as a 2-drop, but you can't ever play it around 1, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, they can't really push neutral aspectless cards, or they're gonna be in every deck. So,
Bunch of holdout.
Oh
blasters.
yeah, I didn't mention that it was no aspect on
No
it.
aspect,
My
yeah.
bad.
Fiber knives.
My bad. So does that mean it costs 2
Holdout
less?
blasters.
So it should cost 1. No.
You thought.
now you actually have the no aspect, so it doesn't have a tax. Tax free, baby.
This was also the same week where Flock texted me and Brian was like, "Hey, I built these 2 very different versions of Iden," and he's like, "One's a trooper Iden, and one's just like some other cards." And I counted up. There's the same exact amount of troopers in both of them, and there's like 2 card difference. He's like, "No, this one's totally different because tag's in here." And I was like, "Flock, they're literally the same deck. One is just like worse, objectively just worse."
Corporate
He had
needs you to
Volunteer
find the
Soldier
difference
in
between
there.
these 2 pictures.
I was
They're
like,
the same picture.
Yeah, I put it in the office. Maybe, yeah. Corporate is asking you to spot the difference. That was a good week. That was a good week.
Sure.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. Not much more to say
Fantastic.
about that. Guy.
Fantastic.
Inception, you got the next one.
Yeah, we got Del Mico from Inferno Squad. He's a 3-drop. He is Vigilance Villain. He's a 3/3 Imperial Trooper. He has Restore 1, which means when he attacks, he heals the damage from his base. And each event an opponent plays costs 1 more while he's in play. So, can be pretty good. I think I screwed up one time, the first time I played against him, and did like a shoot first, which ended up costing 2, so I couldn't play my 3-drop I planned on playing, so it gets kind of clunky.
That was just recently too. I think the
Yeah,
did you give a shield?
a week or two ago?
I think it was I thought it was yesterday's video, right? That he posted.
Was
Maybe,
it?
yeah.
I
I
don't
think it was
know.
yesterday's video that went up.
Because I literally thought the same thing as you. Because has he hit the board in any? Like we put him into our decks, but
No,
I feel like I
haven't
no
played him
experience
yet.
playing against Delmico. Even though
Every
he's been
time
in our
I-
decks.
Every time I have the opportunity to play him, I just have something better in my hand.
yeah,
And it's like later into the game. Like if I had him round 2, I would definitely slap him on the table. But like I've always found him like at the close of the game. At
Mhm.
which point, like I'm playing higher cost stuff, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for its cost, I think it's a great card. 3/3/3, and that Restore 1 plus that other ability. I think it's fantastic for the cost curve. And making them paying extra for anything, any events,
Yeah.
which is fantastic.
If you're playing against some kind of deck that can let him stick for a round or 2, then he feels great. Otherwise, he's just Veers and he gets traded really fast.
Yeah, if you're playing that 25 health blue
Give him a
base, you
shield.
definitely want to shield him. Like that's like turn 2. Okay, now I'm shielding him. Keep
fuck,
him alive.
what's that base called?
Yeah, I don't freaking know, dude. Is it Jeddah City?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Yeah,
Same
I
color
don't
too.
freaking know.
Actually, yeah.
I don't freaking know.
Super close.
No,
You're
Jeddah
right.
City's the -4 one, right?
Correct.
What color is
He's
it?
learning.
Yeah, which is yellow.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh, oh!
Yeah.
Guys, he
So
plays that. He
Which
plays
one's
that
the
base.
brain?
Is a swamp the 30
That's
health
the
one?
30 cost.
That's the
Yeah,
30.
that's
Okay,
30
yeah,
cost
that's
blue.
all I know. I don't
Security
know the blue.
Complex is the.
Security
pretty
complex.
complex.
Okay. It's so bad I don't even know it. It's because it's bad. I don't know it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
bad. It just has bad
Situational.
matchups. Because, like, if you play against anything running Saboteur, it's like, when do I use this?
Yeah.
I just gave up 5 health for nothing.
Yeah. Hey, its best deck. Hear me out, Grand Inquisitor, because then you can actually be proactive in how you use it,
Yeah.
and it's not reliant on your opponent. Like eating into the shield or getting around it. But
I
that's the only
believe you.
time I've liked it. Every other time I've used it or was too slow to use it. Like my game last week against Flock, I was just yelling at myself for not like shielding my stuff earlier.
I yell at myself a lot during games with Flock. So
That's fair. I actually yell at Flock during my games with Flock a lot too.
That's why you're doing so much commentary lately. Got a voiceover. You can't let anybody hear this.
the voiceovers are because of Flock.
Yeah, Flock just got finished saying how Brian was busting on him because Flock hadn't really made any decks. We have like 18 decks sitting there, and Brian's like, "You've made none. Like, what do you do here?" And Flock's like, "No, my job is this, and to make like the video look nice and the sound nice and like recording all good." And then he messes up the sound, and we didn't get any sound that night. I was like, that timing was perfect, and now I have to record 5 videos. And Flock did one.
I did one.
Flock
I did one.
because I yelled at him.
I don't do anything here. So
He made me.
If Brian did an interview, that's what he did.
I do adult arts and crafts every week,
True.
cutting out these cards.
He says he hates it, but I swear he loves it.
It's a little therapeutic. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
I might miss it a little when we're going. Anyway, back
Yeah.
to the spoilers. Sorry.
Who,
I got a little
Inception,
off
you read
topic
that one,
there.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, next up we got Inferno 4, which is a space unit. It is blue villain, 2 cost. It's called the Unforgetting. It's a 2 attack Imperial vehicle fighter with 3 health. And when played / when defeated, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put any number of them on the bottom of your deck, and the rest on top in any order. Really good. Cycling cards is really good. Trying to see stuff when you want to see it is really good. 2-drop, 2/3. I feel like blue villain needed that a little bit to have something stick into space because they didn't really have anything early game before, and TIE fighters have just kind of been phased out essentially as we've gotten more and more cards a little bit. So I think Inferno 4 is really good. I like where it's at.
Yeah, I think the guys that spoiled it are pretty cool.
I hate them. They're the worst. I forgot that you got these guys. I forgot that. As soon as you said that, I was like, wait a minute. Then I feel like you have to do the next one. I would have given you that one, then the next one.
Okay.
But you got to take the next one then.
I mean, Inferno 4 is good. Like you said, kind of like a staple 2-cost space unit for Villain Blue. Like, they just didn't have anything cheap space. I think Avenger and there was some other unit, but but it's not good. I
Devastator?
don't remember
No.
what it is. Now I gotta look.
Is it Devastator? Devastator's green. Maybe? No.
They're on it.
Space. Oh no, those were the only two villain blue. Because you only other options you had was Distant Patroller and System Patrol Craft, which are both just mono blue.
So, yeah. That's funny.
So I mean, they needed anything in space that
Yeah.
they could play, and Inferno 4 is great. And looking at top 2 cards is not bad. Cycling it, I mean, basically you're getting more off than R2 normally would, so pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Next card is 1 cost, unit on the ground. It's cunning, just cunning. It's called the Jawa Scavenger. Traits are Fringe and Jawa, so there is a Jawa trait. It's pretty cool. 2 power, 1 health, and it has Saboteur. So whenever it attacks, it can ignore Sentinel and defeat the defender's shields. So the draft card.
I'm ready for my Jawa tribal deck.
I can't wait to Jawa Brian instead of Ewoking.
I'm sweating a little bit over here. Thinking about what could be. So
I'm actually
Yeah,
really
really
sad
cool
now
art.
to say that we don't have any Ewok tags yet. Not even just a single Ewok warrior.
We don't have any Ewoks in the game yet, so
Yeah.
thank God.
Oh, they have to be coming. Have to.
No, they don't. They don't.
I heard the last blue character is Chief Chirpa.
It fits. It fits.
Do you see this possibly going in like the villain decks or any deck with yellow, like
You don't,
sideboard? No, like sideboarded for like if a Luke or something really heavy shielded is prominent. Because
I mean, it's tough because if you're playing yellow, you probably can't ambush it. Like you would need to use ECL with it to actually get use out of it. Otherwise, they just kill it because it only has 1 health.
well, I mean,
Everything-
it would be like your turn 1 play. Like your turn 1 plays Jawa, and like if you're playing against Luke, like they drop R2D2. It's like, do they waste their turn putting the shield on it, or do they claim take the initiative so that you don't?
But how much
If
of a
they have
counter
the
is that
initiative.
if it's only like a turn 1 chance that you can
Yeah,
stop?
yeah. I was just
If
curious.
you're-
I'm just trying to think.
And it's
like,
not even that
if
big
you're
of a deal
playing-
because you still don't kill R2.
Like, yeah,
If
because
you're
R2
playing
still
yellow-
Oh
exists.
yeah, 1/4.
There
Yeah.
are options to deal with shields if you're playing yellow than the Jawa Scavenger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way for yellow to like put ambush on a stick, then maybe you could sideboard it. But realistically, no.
Gotcha.
All right, then we'll back to Brian.
This card, man.
You love
We
this
had back. I don't love this card. Back to the discussion we were having a while ago. This card was also a high topic of discussion for Flock.
Oh
well.
my gosh.
Vanguard Ace is a
Oh
2-cost
my
space yellow hero unit, 1/1 New Republic vehicle fighter. When played, for each other card you played this phase, give an experience token to this unit. I think this was the half English, half other.
German, pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
That Tyler appeared on.
Yeah. So Flock was like, "This card is so good. I could do this and that and this and the other." And Jack was like, "No." He's like, "But I could do this and that and this and the other." And Jack was like, "No."
Because he got tripped on because Tyler said the value of attack and health on this card equals the amount of cards you played the round, including itself. And he said that because it's a 1/1. So even if you just played that and that was the only card you played, it's a 1/1. So if you played 2 cards before and then that, you've played 3 total cards, including itself. So now it's a 3/3. So that was the point Tyler was trying to make. Our Tyler, our Flockton.
Yeah.
was
Well, I'm
probably-
pretty sure. I mean, I quoted what he said, and then I'm pretty sure it's like I'm thinking it's a 1/1, and he said for each other card played this phase, and then he's made a including this card and give an experience token to this unit. So I'm like, okay, so it's a 2/2, no matter what. That's what I thought.
So anyway, the next card.
You got there.
I
You
mean,
got it. This is coaster
we did a
stuff.
fantasy draft today of the 16 worst cards in the game, and this one was picked pretty high. So
I don't see a world where this gets played. Like, we'll revisit this probably like every set. Like at the end, be like, all right, this whole thing's spoiled. Is there a few cards that work with this? No. All right, I'll see you next set. It's worth keeping an eye on, but I'd be surprised if before set 3 this is viable.
Gotcha.
And fuck, you got the next one.
The next one. So the next one is Cassian Andor, a leader unit. 6 comes out on 6 resources. He's a 4/6 rebel with Saboteur, and when you deal damage to an enemy base, you may draw a card. Use his ability only once each round. And I forgot I'm on the unit side. So the epic action side is action for 1. If you've dealt 3 or more damage to an enemy base this phase, draw a card. So he's basically just the draw a card unit for doing damage. Not bad. He's probably going to be a base race smash face kind of character. I don't think there's enough cards out now to make it really prominent for like a whole bunch of low cost doing damage, but because if you're playing a bunch of low cost, you want to have card draw, so this gives you the card draw. So I don't think it's going to be good when the game comes out. Maybe a few sets later, we could talk about a Zerg-like deck coming out, but yeah.
Nah, he pretty bad.
He's in an awkward spot because like since he's in the exact same color as Sabine, who costs 4 to come out, it's like you don't ever really want to choose him over her to do aggro burn because you're gonna have to keep resourcing to 6 to actually get a leader out. But his ability is based on dealing damage to the base, which is what you want to be doing if you're aggro burn. So it's just he's in a weird spot. Like if he works one day, it's got to be in mid range. At least is working in the sense of he does something better than Sabine does it. Because there's just not a world where Sabine isn't better when she comes out at 4.
He also makes it so you're playing under curve, too, is like an aggro deck, which I feel like is going to feel pretty bad. You know, if you're at 5 resources, but you have to spend 1 to draw every round. Yeah, because my initial like deck building of him was like, all right, kind of mid-rangey, and then end game, you know, just draw more cards and be able to outlast my opponent simply on value of cards that I have. So I'm curious to try him there, but even that just kind of feels pretty rough. Like, I don't know. We splashed him with what, blue, and originally, and even part of that was like I just feel like I should play like a mid-range Luke with red compared to doing casting with it.
Yeah, he's just in a weird spot of it feels like anything you put him in, some other leader does it better. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe there's some other stuff that works specifically well with him. But yeah, currently other leaders do other things, and 4/6 still feels so rough when Boba comes out at 4/7 as a 6-cost leader.
Or a resource cheaper.
Yeah. But anyway, I could go on about that, the 4/6 and the 4/7. But so Flock, you read that one. Inception, you got the next one.
We got the 6-cost Rogue Squadron Skirmisher. It is command and heroism. Unit. It's a ground unit because it's a snow speeder. It is 4 power, 6 health, rebel vehicle speeder. It has ambush, so when you play it, you can attack or ready and attack a unit. It also has a when played ability to return a unit that costs 2 or less from your discard pile to your hand. So it can kind of get you another card to either resource the next round or another cheap card to play. I mean, it's better than the other snow speeder.
Bro.
Yes. What is that? That's a 5-cost, like 3/6?
3/6.
That can exhaust a ground vehicle?
Yeah. We just got a 3rd ground vehicle that we'll talk about later. But none of them are really that playable, so... Yeah. I mean, this one's double aspect, so it should be better than Snow Speeder, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Grabbing something, I think, just to even if it's something that you end up resourcing, it just helps you keep more cards in your hand and stuff that I like. Currently, I think I only really play this in Hera is probably the only time I've really played it so far. You know, like if you're playing Leia, you're probably not really looking to go this far up. You're looking to go to 5 pretty much, unless Black 1. I think I have Black 1 in Leia.
Impossible German from our group he likes to play this in a Leia mid-range deck. He only plays 2 of them though, so I don't know that it's really doing anything. I haven't seen the deck in action, but I saw it was in the list, so somebody's playing it.
Yeah, I like it. I like getting a card, but it's not like lighting the world on fire or anything. It could definitely come out if there's better like 6 drops that can go into that slot. All right, who did Inception? That one, so I'm up.
Yep.
Zeb Aurelius. He is a ground unit. He's 5 cost. He is hero aggression, hero red. He has 5 attack, 5 health. He's a rebel specter, and it says when this unit completes an attack, if the defender was defeated, you may deal 4 damage to a ground unit. The absolute high that you get when you ECL him in to kill something and then, kill something else with his when this unit completes an attack ability, it feels really, really good. I think 5 for 5/5 body, even without ECL, is still okay, but he's definitely felt pretty slow at times for me. Like, I think he's a good card and probably worth including in most red hero decks. But I know, like, the initial reaction to him spoil was that, this card's insane or, like, whatever, which I still think it's, like, pretty good. But the second you take ECL away from him, I feel like his power level drops significantly.
Yeah, you just have to play around some cards like Force Choke because it feels bad playing a 5-cost unit and then losing it to either a 2-cost or maybe even a 1-cost event. Takedown kills it for 4. So I mean, he can be answered at 5 health, but if you can kind of sequence around it and try and get a round out of him, it feels pretty good. Which is why ECL is great with him because you guarantee that you're getting him in. But yeah, 5-cost units in general are just a weird spot. Of a lot of them aren't great. So anything that's decent might be playable. But I mean, it just feels like almost everybody ends up not running much 5-cost, others than Bosk, I guess.
Because you're getting into the zone of I want them to do something immediately when they are played, but they're still not quite as big as some of those 6, 7, 8 cost type stuff.
Yep. Felt pretty bad when you played him ECL into something, killed me, and then did 4 to the K2SO I just played.
Yeah. I killed your 2
So-
tubes who you didn't attack with yet,
Yes,
and then dealt 4 into K2SO and killed him.
correct.
And then I had all the specters out, dude. I was living the life that game. Fun game.
Didn't last long.
Oh, yeah, because then
I
I
did
beat
have to ruin your fun.
Yeah.
If I gotta
Yeah.
suffer, everyone does.
You played a Hera deck and got all the Spectres out. I play Hera next week and got none of the Spectres out.
I've
So-
had games like that, trust me.
I went well.
Brian was... who did you play, Brian? I don't remember. Were you Cassian?
Think so?
Yeah, 2 tubes, K2SO. I think you're Cassian.
Yeah.
That probably explains it.
And then immediately after that, I was like, Cassie's bad. I'm bad, but also Cassian's very bad.
Can't have 2 bads.
Too much bad in one spot.
That's the double aspect of bad.
Double bad.
Brian,
That's
you got
mono
next.
bad, yeah.
Auto bad. This is my card. Darth Vader, 7 cost ground unit, command villainy, 5/7 Force Imperial Sith with ambush. When played, search the top 10 cards of your deck or any number of villain units with a combined cost of 3 or less, and play each of them for free. So this card is sick. Feels great. There are some weird spots I've played this card where I slap him down, kill the thing I want to kill him with, or not. I don't always use the ambush. But you do sometimes end up in a weird spot with the fact that it is a 3 or less, where I have whiffed out of 10 cards because my luck is crap, and I have just put down like either a 2 cost or a 1 cost and another 1 cost, and like that extra resource is gonna hanging out. So it feels worse when it's just a 1/2 cost, but typically this card does feel pretty good to play, and it can be a closer. Also works with Darth Vader's lightsaber, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's just the one drawback I can think of where you kind of whiff, but mostly great card.
Yeah, I like this card too. Played it a few times. A lot of fun with it. When I used it, no problem getting what I wanted. I think what I got like
You got
Fifth
a
Brother.
stormtrooper and a
I got Fifth Brother the one
Yeah,
time I
fifth
played
brother
Jack,
one time,
yeah.
and then I'm
Seasoned
pretty sure I got like
Stormtrooper.
and then seasoned with a 1 cost
Stormtrooper, yeah.
Stormtrooper. Yeah, so like pretty good swings, and even like was it Death Trooper could be pretty good too because you can play that down, slop that down, and ping some damage and kill something else. So
And 10's generous. 10's a generous search, right? Like
yeah, very generous search. Yeah.
hopefully you
You're
haven't
playing at round
wasted.
6 essentially, so you've seen
Yeah.
what?
You've
18
seen a bunch of your
cards?
one. Yeah. A lot of your cheap stuff is probably in the trash.
You've seen at least 16 cards, so
Yeah.
looking 10 out of about 36, 34 cards.
Chance
It's
less
generous.
if you did like super laser tech or resupply to
Mhm.
get them out earlier and stuff. Yeah. What's been
Yeah.
your guys' favorite unit to pull with them? And this was a Christmas Day spoiler, by the way. This was awesome.
I mean, Short Trooper feels great because you're
It's a 4/3. Yeah.
yeah, 4/3.
So if you're gonna get a 1/2 cost, Short Trooper's probably it, because you could say it's probably a 3 cost with its curve. But yeah, Short Trooper with like a 1 cost,
Short Trooper
is-
with Death
is
Star Stormtrooper is
fantastic.
pretty great because you're pulling
Yeah.
7 damage out for free.
Or even like a
Essentially.
TIE fighter with that as well, at least to split out the ground and space.
You're putting 12 damage on the board.
Yeah, that's
Whether
crazy.
you can get it all out or not is up to you and up to fate. But like
Brian's got a
putting
problem
12
with that.
damage on the board, that's significant. That can turn the tide pretty quickly, and that also that requires your opponent to respond too. So it puts them on the back foot. I mean, it's a great card.
Yeah, I've pulled Boba Fett with it as well when I was playing Boba Green. I mean, so far it's a really good card, but every time I play it, I'm like, I wish I had Luke Skywalker instead. He's just better.
Luke is just better. I agree. You are just nuking a unit, and the Restore 3 is significant.
And an extra power. Like, it's
Yeah.
just all around. You're just really happy with him. But Darth Vader's still really good.
As a villain player, we take what we can get.
Hey, you're feasting with it. It's pretty good.
I have minimal complaints.
All right, time to
And-
let Flock cook.
Heck yeah. Was that my cue for the next card?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, Moment of Peace. 1 cost event. It's blue. And it is a give a shield token to a unit. Now, I have mixed feelings. At
What's
first,
the
I
art
was,
on the card, Flock?
the art. Oh, it's Yoda eating some soup.
With
Oh,
my
he's
hair.
Cooking. He's cooking.
It's literally cooking. dude.
Oh, now I get it. He's cooking. Got it. Got it. Had to explain it to me.
Inception's never coming back.
Most guys don't. It's fine.
Right.
You guys
Maybe
have
I'm
guests?
never coming back. Maybe I
No.
get kicked off.
Scott's a guest. He hasn't come back since
We even gave him a free shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's give a shield token to a unit. So I'm assuming unit means it could also be like the leader unit too. So this could be a good like 1 cost to something, your leader that you want to keep alive. So at first I was like 1 cost for 1 shield, what's the big deal? But you're paying 1 to possibly absorb a good amount of damage. So as I've been thinking about it, I don't think I want to really put it in a deck yet, but I can definitely see it going into many blue decks just because of that. 1 cost, 1 shield, especially on a leader, is probably the most optimal play you want to do.
Yeah, I've jammed it into every blue deck so far. I don't know if it needs to be a 3 of, but it's felt pretty good. A lot of like early game stuff of just like shielding a battlefield marine, being able to trade into a few things with it,
Yeah.
Just a shield is on it for 1 is really good. And you're not stuck with like, yeah, Luke can always do the unit that comes into play, but you don't always have the timing for that. And then sometimes the next round you could use another shield. So
Yep.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's definitely been one that's been trying out and has felt pretty good. More valuable than I originally thought. Not that I thought it was terrible at first, but it's definitely I've been very happy to get that in my hand.
Yeah,
That's
so
not-
this could be a pretty good card for like if you think you have a floating resource in a deck that you don't have Luke, or you have 2 resources, you're like, do I put a 2 cost unit down, or do I basically put 2 shields out for 2? So like, yeah, okay, growing on me a little bit more every single time I talk about it.
Probably all right.
You don't play blue. It doesn't matter.
If you could read, you'd be unstoppable.
This card costs 3 to you, Flockton.
Probably.
So I'm assuming it can be a leader. It just says unit. Flock
Yeah,
welcome.
Yeah.
it can be a leader.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yep, it can.
The undeployed leader, right?
Yeah. The leader needs a shield.
Put it on
Please
the
don't
base.
hurt him.
Yeah. Inception, you got the next one.
We got another one of my favorite cards that have been spoiled recently, Echo-Based Defender. It's a 3-cost unit ground, command and heroism aspects. It's 4 power, 3 health, Rebel Trooper, and most importantly, it has Sentinel. So it slots really good into green. It's another card that you love to use Energy Conversion Lab on because you trade into a 2-power unit, and then they have to hit your 4-power Sentinel and probably lose something else to it. So it's good. Like, yeah, the 3 health can be a little awkward at times, but I mean, worst case, you're trading this for something else. So it's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
almost
got
wish
an
it was a
awkward player.
3/4, but
Mm-hmm.
still have loved this card.
I mean, everyone was slotting in the cell block guard, and this is just like better than cell block guard. I know it's heroism, but still, it's like you look at cell block guard, which was the the staple Sentinel 3/3/3, and now you got this, which is does more.
Not even my favorite Sentinel anymore, dude.
Dude, he's not. What's a cell block guard?
I even like him too in the sense the 4 attack has actually made him interesting. I've had him in the Leia decks too, and I feel like he, on top of being a Sentinel to protect some of my other units, he can also just help race. Like 4 damage on him is
He can be an aggro unit too.
yeah. Cool. All right, that's back to me then. Next we have Seven Sister, who is a ground unit, 5 cost, villainy, aggression. What's it? Implacable Inquisitor. 3 attack, 6 health, Force Imperial Inquisitor, Saboteur, and reads, when this unit deals combat damage to an opponent's base, you may deal 3 damage to a ground unit that an opponent controls.
Isn't that implacable?
I couldn't really see with how blown up on my screen it is and the pixels on there. But
And implacable. Yeah. Unable to
is
be placated.
implacated.
It's relentless.
Yes, actually, that's a synonym.
Look at that.
Yep.
So she on Relentless? No. But she falls into the category of what I said about Zeb a little bit, of just being a little bit too slow. She's got 6 health, so she sticks around more, but you can't really ECL her in because you want to be going to the base with her. But she is another force unit that villains pretty much need because I think it's her, Fifth Brother, and Palpatine in terms of units. I know
Darth Vader.
Vader's one. Yeah, I guess the Green Vader as well.
Yeah, I mean, she fits really good in the thematic pairing with Grand Inquisitor, and that's her best spot for sure. I think yeah, this week Tyler played Grand Inquisitor Yellow a lot, and he had a couple games where she went off and did like a lot of damage. I think yeah, there was one game where he did 3 times he was able to swing with her. So I mean that's 18 damage between base and units, and it felt really good for him. So yeah, she does work in Grand Inquisitor. Outside of that, I don't know that you can really find a place to play her. Like it's tough. I put her in Vader just to try her and didn't feel great.
Yeah, I resource her every time when I was playing Vader because she just doesn't. If she was 4/6, she'd be pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's
Like you said, outside of Grand Inquisitor, like Vader just doesn't. She
even if
swings
her
for
stats got buffed up, it's just the issue is like almost if I wonder if there was like a when played / on attack like deal, like if she could deal 3 damage when she was played as well or something like that. It's just the 5 into a super slow unit that gets no benefit from getting ambush, unlike Zeb, makes her pretty hard to play. So yeah, I did the same thing and put her over Callus, I think, in that deck, and then like just it was trying to give another option for Force Throw, which we'll read in a second, but I think I almost just go back to running Callus. But
Yeah, agreed.
Brian, you're next. You're up next.
Force Throw is a 1-cost red event force. Choose a player. That player discards a card from their hand. Then, if you control a force unit, you may deal damage to a unit equal to the cost of the discarded card. This is a great card. It has the great versatility power to disrupt your opponent, damage your opponent. You can you can take it from your hand, and you choose too. So I mean that's pretty big. Tyler used this against me this week. I think I had a Vanquish and or it was
It was-
takedown and
Saber.
saber. And of the 2 cards in my hand, I was like, I want to lose neither of these. Plus, they swing for 3 and 4, so like that's huge. Yeah, it's a great card.
I got you another time. Well, didn't you only have 1 card in your hand? I was just like, you know what? I'll pay 1 to make you discard that card. You have full resources. You literally can't do anything in this game. You were playing the Boba deck, and I forget what. And I also
It was
kill a
fun.
unit or did damage to the unit. It was just like, okay. You're like, well, what do I do now? It's like, yep.
I really enjoyed that game against you. That was a really
Oh,
fun
that was
game.
fantastic. Oh yeah. That wasn't. That's not up yet, but it's gonna be coming up. Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
This card only gets better as time goes on too.
Yeah.
So
Would you like it more if it randomly discarded a card?
yes.
Because you lose out on the ability to pick your own. Yeah. I think I would like it more. Because then I always target your opponent.
Yep.
Unless you just had 1 card in hand that you knew was going to be good. But like I just feel like that would be better. And so I'm curious like to see how it plays out. Like, does it get crazy because you can target yourself and pick?
Yeah. I think if they made it a 2 cost and then it was a random card, even just to balance things out, I mean, it's good as is. Don't get me wrong,
For sure.
it's great as is, but like that would be nutty.
Yeah, they mentioned that force is like the strongest like keyword. So, what's the lowest costed unit force? Is it Ezra 3
Fifth
and
Brothers
like
3.
Fifth Brother
Well, it's
and
probably
Yoda
the
3?
Guardian of the Wills.
Yeah, so like this gets even better if you have lower cost force units on
Mhm.
play, so you can play a little bit sooner. Because like honestly, like your opening hand, what do you have? You normally have like 2 to 3s. So if you can on your second turn play this card because you have a force unit as your first play, get rid of and do 3 damage and kill their unit and then smack face, like that could be pretty good early on. Right now it's not good early on, but yeah, once we get a lower cost force unit, really good early.
If you're Tyler, you probably still have an OB in hand too.
Be better.
I wish I could.
Can't wait to watch that game.
There's some feelings going on. I don't know if you can pick up on this, but there's some feelings happening.
I
This
think
week.
I think that one was already up because I think it was one of the commentary ones, right?
Hate curve. Yep.
It it was like turn 10 or 11 and then I'm like, "Okay, let me play." I think I did it was late because I put it on Vader unit. Oh, is that what it was? Because I played Vader unit and then I put Vader Saber and then I OB'd and yeah.
We have a game going up next week, the complete opposite of that. I think I was playing Vader, and the only card your unit I was able to play before 6 resources when I scooped was Fifth Brother. Everything else was more expensive or an event or whatever. It was the worst game ever. Yeah.
It's block. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up. Yeah, Pirated Starfighter, 2 cost unit in space. It's got cunning, the yellow, and it is a 2/4 underworld vehicle fighter with raid 1 and when played, return a friendly non-leader unit to its owner's hand. This card is too complicated for me to use. I can see it being good, but you probably want to return something that has a, when played effect or like Akbar. Do you know that you know what he does? Yeah. Because I don't.
Yeah.
And or like a high cost unit because it's a non-leader. So high cost unit that you already played that has a lot of damage on it. Pull it back, maybe even a Vader, and then play the Vader down again and get the ambush with the searching too to get more units on there. So, yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, and if you play it first round, you have to bounce it back. So it's a pretty good flex on your opponent.
True.
Mhm. It's the only friendly unit, so you would have to return that.
Yeah, it doesn't say other friendly units.
Yeah, I know. The first time I read that, I missed that it said, or it didn't say other. So I was like, 2-4 with raid 1? This thing's insane. How, like, this is above curve of every other 2-drop. And then I fully read it, and I was like, oh, because you can't actually play it turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be happy when we get like a lot of 1 and 2 cost units that have win plate abilities. Tyler's been trying it with Han Green, since you can kind of be above curve with resources and bouncing back Leia and Akbar. I think something else. And he was okay with it because he also played Wedge, so you could ambush it in.
Ooh, I like that.
So you could also ambush it in, then bounce
Bounce
itself
itself.
back if you really wanted to get wild. So
And then ambush it in, and then bounce it back.
again,
That's hilarious. Yeah, I think there's probably some cards that'll come out that'll synergize well with this of cheap stuff, and then there's probably stuff I wonder if they'll do anything. It's like when this unit leaves play, right? Now there's like when defeated stuff, but leaves play could incorporate returning things to hand, so there could be some underworld stuff that synergizes with that. So yeah, there's some stuff there. Feels a little weird right now, but I could see some corner cases of it being pretty solid in certain decks that are built to maximize that. All right, Inception.
you got the Vanguard Infantry. It's a 1-cost command single aspect unit on the ground. It has 1 power, 2 health. It's a trooper. When it's defeated, you may give an experience token to a unit. Another great draft card.
Draft. Yeah.
Draft.
Hey, he's learning.
Well,
Well.
he had to be taught this. He's like, this is so good in Tarkin. I was like, it's not Imperial. He's like, this sucks in Tarkin.
Yeah. My first thought was Tarkin, cool. And he says not Imperial. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Funny
it was
enough,
Imperial, it'd be playable.
Yeah, I think Tyler tweeted saying something along the lines of, there's too many Tylers. Tyler the dev tweeted that.
That's why I'm Flock.
Yeah. Well, when you act up, you're Tyler. When you're fine. You're
Oh, when I'm in trouble.
I think he tweeted that they going back kind of wanted if he could he would add Rebel and Imperial on it or Imperial on it or whatever, but then it would probably have had to been like a 1/1 or something. I don't know if he said that on stream or if that was a tweet, but I feel like I remember hearing something about where he wishes he could have changed that around a little bit. But yeah, draft card, funny enough, could be used in Chewy as like a half decent option, but I still don't know if it makes a cut in Chewy. But if my opponent has to kill my 1/2 to give an experience out, that's actually kind of funny. But all right, we're moving on to I'm up next with Heroic Sacrifice. It's an event, a 1-cost heroism aggression, a tactic. It says draw a card, then attack with a unit. For this attack, it gets +2/+0 and gains when this unit deals combat damage, defeat it. And so combat damage does apply to hitting the base. Got that question as well for some people when this was spoiled. So if you do use this to swing at a base, your unit still does die. But it's really good, obviously pairing with K2SO, because then that would be 9 damage essentially to face that you can do with that. And then there's some other units I'm sure that have like 1 defeateds, like I know Yoda's in that mix, Obi-Wan technically, but I'm sure Kamikaze in your 6 cost might not feel great. There might be some lanes there. Who else got some when defeated? You got Greedo's got a when defeated.
It's also good to note that if you have nothing but exhausted units and you play this, you can draw a card for 1.
Oh, true. Yeah. Just fix
Since you
itself.
won't actually attack with anything, you won't have to kill anything. If you do have a ready unit, you have to pick the ready unit, though.
Yeah, because you have to attack with it. Yeah. Some of the other actually within red, this pairs pretty well with some stuff of like K2SO. Obviously, we mentioned, but Starwing Scout and Black One is actually funny that you can get some pretty good card draw off both those options, which red was mentioned, and then
just make sure you do the Black One effect first. Well, hang on. You finish what you're doing. So you would draw the card and then discard it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't actually combo with Black One, other than getting you 3 new cards. But
yeah, so if you don't care about that other card in hand, that's fine. And you technically go +1 card, but yeah, it's still not Not as good as just the Starwing Scout, which would just be draw.
Yeah,
Without
that one
issue.
feels good.
Yeah. And then the other ones could be Callus in green, and then the Vanguard Infantry we just talked about, along with Greedo in yellow, were the options that I was thinking about. But it's also just really good to just burn stuff down. I know this and Surprise Strike can give some pretty good reach to the aggro decks.
Yeah, I like this better than Precision Fire.
Yeah.
Precision Strike, whichever one it's called. Because that one's restricted to troopers, and you can use this with space units or whatever, so everything in the deck works.
Yep. Cool. Brian, you got the next one.
AT-AT Suppressor. It's an 8 cost. Blue Villain Ground Unit. 8/8 Imperial Vehicle Walker. Unplayed Exhaust all ground units.
What does that mean, Flock?
It's alright.
Wait, do the space units get exhausted? Everything gets exhausted?
Read it. All right, hear me out word by word. What's the first word?
When?
Yep, and the next.
Played.
Mm-hmm. So
Exhaust
when it's
all ground units.
played. Okay.
Got it. So it's like
So-
stomping and yeah.
So
It's that meme from Friends
so if I
where
had a
he's
space
like,
unit out and you played this, would my space be exhausted?
No.
Yes, let's go, Flock. So proud of you. Now, say you have a unit out and I have a ground unit out and you play this. What units get exhausted?
all ground units.
Let's go. That includes yours. We are
Yeah,
so proud of
include
you.
your own.
This is huge. This is a big moment for us, actually. Good job, Flockton.
True.
it's alright. It's
Yeah, I
okay
was like,
card.
this kind of seems a little weird. I don't
Yeah, I
necessarily
mean, it
know.
combos with Piet alright, because you can ambush. But it doesn't work with Ozzel, because you would exhaust, or you would finish Ozzel first. So when you ready the AT-AT Suppressor, you then do its when played and exhaust it. So
And then they get to
that would
ready
be-
unit, right?
no, that would have happened before it exhausts everything. So everything's exhausted.
Oh, okay.
But you don't get to ready your AT-AT.
This is gonna go great in my Iden Space Race deck. Where I'm all space and then I drop this to just exhaust all their ground units and just keep smacking face with space.
And then you have
Yeah,
a
our-
vanilla 8/8 that does nothing really. And
Yeah.
Our Tyler played a Boba Blue deck that'll go up, I think, Monday. And that ran this outmaneuver and a ton of space stuff. And just all space.
how did it go?
Yeah.
He won. He was playing against Terra, but you know.
Let's go.
Asterisks.
Let's go.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see it much in constructed, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun in draft though.
All right, next one. We got Cargo Juggernaut. It's a unit on the ground, 6 cost blue, a 4/6 vehicle tank with shielded, and when played, if you control another blue unit, heal 4 damage from your base. This is good. I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, I'm gonna put it in my Krennic mono deck, but like,
Well, you're limited there, anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know how much
Fine.
like I love it, but it does feel like one that could be borderline, like constructed play. Like it's not like the first like 20 cards go in my deck, but I could see this being, in that 45-50 slot where I do have a good amount of blue units and just healing for 4 would probably be pretty nice. But
I mean, would you rather play this or Obi-Wan?
oh yeah, Obi-Wan, yeah, definitely.
And you probably can't fit both in the deck.
What's the like villain blue 6 slot look like?
Academy Walker?
yeah.
And I'd
It's
probably rather
6
play
cost, 5/5 with Sentinel, give experience to damage tokens.
that.
Or
Yeah.
damage units.
Yeah, I think I'd rather play that too.
Yeah, if this had Sentinel, it'd be bonkers, but obviously that'd be way too good.
Yeah, shielded and sentinel. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see it in some stuff like on the fringe cases of decks, but like you said, I think Academy Walker for villain and Obi for hero are just better at that 6 drop. And how many 6 drops do you want? Yeah, you're probably not running too many of those. All right, on to the next one. Who's got the next one? Inception.
I got it. We got 2-cost Devotion. Single aspect Vigilance. It's an upgrade. Attached unit gains Restore 2, which means when it attacks the base or a unit, anytime it attacks, it heals 2 damage from your base. And it also gives +1/+1. It has the trait of Innate. I don't know that upgrade traits are going to matter at some point, but maybe. It was
Someday.
also in Art Tyler's Boba Blue deck. He put this on an Inferno 4 and just kept peeling and smacking base. So did all right. It's just in that tough spot of in blue upgrades, you got obviously all the lightsabers. You got Entrenched. And you can't really run that many of them. So will it find a slot? I mean, realistically, probably sideboard if it does.
Yeah. Villain, it feels like it has more chance of a slot. Because Hero is where you get the Jedi lightsaber and the Luke lightsaber that compete for that. But Villain, it's really just Entrenched right now, I think.
Those are my monochronic deck, I'm telling you right now.
Heck
The
yeah.
stack.
He's
It's
going to slap
fire.
it on his cargo juggernaut.
Restore 2, restore 2, restore 2 all day, dude.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Question: with this card, if you have it on something that already has restore, does it like add restore to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Any
Any
of the
keyword that
keywords.
has a number, it adds.
Gotcha. It adds. Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
you can't have 2 grits, for instance. You can't have 2 sentinels, but you can have Restore 2 and Restore 1 makes Restore 3.
In raids and stuff can add.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything
cool,
with a number.
So this is going on Krennic as well.
Eh,
3 of on Krennic.
I mean, a
Restore
4/9
8.
with Restore 4, right?
5/10, right?
Or if I see 3, I forget what he is.
He said 3. You know, he's the
I said 2.
2/7,
The
but he said
2/7.
play 3 of them on him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
5/10, restore 8.
And then you get damaged and you're 6/10.
Mm-hmm. It's all coming together.
That's it. That's it.
Voltron Krennic.
All right, on to the next one. Make an opening. It's a 3-cost event. Vigilance. It's a tactic. Give a unit -2/-2 for this phase. Heal 2 damage from your base. Shout out to Baze finally getting in some artwork. Hopefully we see him come into play as an actual unit as well. But initial reactions, I don't hate this card necessarily, but when I'm minusing, I almost like it if it was like able to get off a defeat on something. And I feel like the -2 health is like just below the fresh. Like if it was like -3/-3, I feel like this would be really good. But it being -2/-2 kind of makes it a little awkward in terms of like constructed play.
I mean, if you're showing up to a tournament tomorrow and 80% of the field is Sabine, you love this card. If it's not, then it's sideboard at best, probably.
Yeah.
If it was 1 less, I feel like it'd be better.
2 for yeah.
Uh,
2 would be
little-
crazy.
yeah.
I'd play that so much.
A little expensive for what it's given.
It's a weird in between. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
the heal feels great, but yeah, the -2 like just hits a limited number of stuff. I feel like in terms of like actually killing it. But I mean, yeah, you definitely could play the 2/2 on something that is about to like make a good value trade into you, and then it now.
I mean, even if you're not defeating it with something, you can get value trades out of it. Like dropping this, you make Obi-Wan a 2/4. You know, it might not feel as bad killing him that round.
Yeah. I mean, you can save like 5 damage. Ideally, you might be dropping like a 3/2, killing it, and then healing 2. So you save yourself 5 damage. Ideally.
Cool. Brian.
My Mothma is a 2-cost green hero ground unit. 1/3 Rebel official. When played, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Rebel card, reveal it, and draw it. Put the other cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. This is a nice turn 1 searcher play. Feels like One Piece.
Yeah,
I'll play
literally
brand
as
new.
soon as I thought that. Yeah, there's a One Piece has a lot of 1-cost searchers that you can play, and this felt
Yeah.
like that.
I'll play a brand new. I'll play a Nami.
Easy. Yeah.
Uh,
But for
this
that
is just-
reason, I like it.
It's just better than Tarkin, right?
yes.
You can pay 4 to get Imperials and 1 more power, or you can play Mon Mothma.
Is he
And then you
really
play
just a
Devotion
2/3?
on it.
Is Tarkin a
Tarkin?
2/3 or is he 2/4?
Isn't he a 2/3?
Tarkin
think it's-
is a...
I haven't played him in forever.
A 2/3. Yeah, 4
It
2
costs
3.
2 more. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, costs 2 more for 1 power.
2, 3 ish.
Yeah.
But you get one. You get 2 cards with Tarkin instead of
That's true.
just
yeah.
the one.
Yeah,
So I
okay.
think that's the trade-off.
I still feel like I'd rather this.
My Moth was better,
Yep.
but
Mamath
yeah,
is
no,
better.
His is still top 5 though, right? Top 5, take 2 Imperial.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like Mothma better. I think she goes well into a lot of these decks, and you'll be happy to play her in your green decks.
definitely gets slotted in.
But it's hero, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
It's not yellow, red. You don't play it.
It's not villain.
Absolutely,
The
dude.
Empire did nothing
Where's
wrong.
Boba
We all
Fett?
know that.
Flock, you got the next one.
Do I? Yes, I do. Steadfast Battalion. A 5-cost unit, green, on the ground. 5/5. Trooper with Overwhelm. On attack, if you control a leader unit, give a friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. A lot of words there. Doesn't seem awful, especially with the trooper keyword. And the +2/+2 on attack is pretty good. Stinks you can't use it on that turn, but yeah,
Why
pretty good
not?
for like an ECL with the Overwhelm, and then giving another unit +2/+2.
Yeah,
I
definitely
mean,
a
if
good
you
ambush target.
you
Yeah.
can give itself +2/+2.
Oh.
On attack happens before the combat damage.
Oh. Did not know that.
So I mean, if your leader's out, this is ambushing it as a 7/7 potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's one of those spots where like usually when your leader's out a lot, you're winning, so it's a win more.
Mhm.
So if your leader's not really out, are you happy paying 5 for a 5/5 ambush? Maybe.
Yeah, definitely fits into one of those like weird. Yeah, like these common single aspect ones have definitely like you look at them and most of them you can tell they're draft. This one I can see some like niche potential constructed plays, but I still think it just ends up being draft where your leaders probably are out like a round longer than in constructed. Cool. All right, on to the next one. Inception.
Got the 6-cost mercenary company. It's a ground unit, single aspect command again. It is also a 5/5, 5 power, 5 health. It is underworld and trooper. It has ambush. After you play this unit, it may ready and attack an enemy unit. And overwhelm when attacking an enemy unit. You deal the excess damage to the opponent's base. And yeah, I think this is definitely a draft card. I don't know that I would ever want to play this in constructed. Like there just aren't two keywords that really synergize well.
Nope.
Because everything
Really?
with ambush is just less stats, and you want bigger stats if you're using overwhelm. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You want to play it though, Flock?
No. I just thought it was cool that there was ambush and overwhelm.
Yeah.
You're saying two
Like
keywords on something.
Like the TQ
Mhm.
words. Like I just like where they can go with that is where I'm thinking. I like that card.
What about 3
Agreed.
keywords? Or
Dude.
4?
I wonder. Because
What if they could
eventually,
put the keyword of boba onto boba.
because how many can you fit on there if you don't have to, if you don't write the text of
keyword
what it
boba.
is? So what it was like, every single one just boom piled on.
Well,
Keyword of
the
Five.
higher the rarity is when they lose the reminder. Like I don't think legendaries have any reminder text.
Yeah, like Vader doesn't have. It just has ambush. It doesn't give the description.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
So I think you could have like 5 keywords.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Balanced, as all things are. All right, so next up is me. We've got an upgrade. We have Traitorous, 5-cost command. It says when this upgrade becomes attached to a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less, take control of that unit. When this upgrade becomes unattached from a unit, that unit's owner takes control of it. It's +0/+0, Traitorous tag, and innate. This actually kind of intrigues me a little bit. It doesn't feel like a command card, but I don't know. Like I almost feel like I have to kind of play with this to see where I end up liking it in constructed. but seems
It's so expensive
5 to steal 3 though.
for
Yeah.
under 3. Like,
I mean, the upside's really good because you could take like a 3-cost Yoda with uh, yeah, cost 3 or less, so he could have a Jedi lightsaber on him. You're taking a 5/7.
you get
Yep.
that
That's
restore
just,
too.
man, yeah, you get it on your side, so it's backbreaking.
And you get the
So I
draw.
mean, this directly punishes the blue decks that like to put upgrades in play. But outside of that, I mean, even against like Sabine, you're happy taking like a Fighters for Freedom or Ezra or something. Like that's essentially a 6-resource swing. It's removing a 3-cost and gaining you a 3-cost. So
Yep.
it's definitely very playable. It's gonna have niche like huge upsides, and the floor is not terrible. But it's kind of like 5 costs is a clunky point to like be playing that because you'll have games where there's just not 3 or less power units out at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It may just end up being a sideboard card, but I won't be surprised if a lot of people run this.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, you're going against Sabine, who's playing all the 3 cost and less units, and you slot it in. But if you're playing against a control deck, you're very unlikely to get value out of it. Cool. Brian?
Strike True is a 3-cost green event. Friendly unit deals damage equal to this power to an enemy unit. I see instances where this could be good, especially since it is green, and green tends to have higher damaged units out there. For 3, I guess it's fine. I don't know if this is making a 50 necessarily. Like I think as more cards come out, this kind of fades away. But as it stands right now, I'd like to throw it in the deck and mess with it. But I think at a certain point, if this was like the base, nutty,
Oh, yeah, that'd be crazy.
nutty.
That's not really what Green's trying to do, though.
No,
Yeah, I like this as a hero green player more so than villain green, just because hero green hasn't had like any removal yet, and so we're finally getting like an option to take somebody off the board. So for me, this definitely goes like, I mean, maybe definitely is a strong word, but it's very likely that this would goes 3 of in a lot of the green decks that I've been playing more recently. But yeah, I mean, if there's like a better hero green card that comes out, I could see it coming out as it is a common single aspect. But for now, I like it.
yeah. As a villain player, we just have OB, so this doesn't really cross my mind that much. You know,
The game's just easier.
it's just easier if you play villain.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was on iRebel this morning, and we went through like all the leaders and what they paired with Boast, and like every villain leader. I was like, "Well, green's
Green?
just a really good option.
Green.
You can ramp and play
Green.
Overwhelming Barrage."
Why not?
Resupply, OB.
Energy Conversion Lab?
Yes,
Come on.
exactly.
Yep.
I gave some varied answers. I didn't necessarily just take the easy way out, but I did say if you didn't like what I said, green's a very good option. All right, Flock, you got my card.
All right. Next one, we got Just Jack, a 2-cost red. Sorry, it's Jetta Agitator, a 2-cost red. Looks like Jack in the artwork. It's a 2/1 rebel with Saboteur. On attack, if you control a leader unit, deal 2 damage to a ground unit or a base. For a 2-cost 2/1, I don't hate it with Saboteur plus the on attack ability. So it's a good turn 1 card. Other than that, I don't really like it other than like turn 1.
It takes a lot for me to love a 1 health unit, and I'm not sure that it crosses the bar for me.
Like when I initially saw it, I just looked at the stats and the abilities and I was like, "Oh, that's a great 1-cost unit." And then I looked at him as a 2-cost, and I said, "Okay, this card's terrible." It's just realistically, you're not really getting that on attack off probably ever. So it's just a 2/1 Saboteur for 2.
Yeah, and with Saboteur, like 1 health, what's the point? Like you're
If you don't want
already
to play my
doing.
Jawa, you don't want to play this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if it was like a when defeated, I think that changes it completely and it makes it a lot more playable. But like you said, just the on attack and at 2 health, there's a very good chance that you just don't trade into what kills you anyways too, and you die to everything. So Yeah, you'll be sad at times playing this.
You're on the
Yeah.
worst card, dude.
My bad. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Inception, you got the next one.
You got the 2-cost event, Red Aggression. It's called Power Failure. It's a tactic. You get to defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. So, probably not going to be seen in Constructed because you're generally just going to see Fang Fighter. Because this just most decks won't put more than one upgrade, maybe two on a card, just because Waylay exists. So
Yeah, it'll be nice if you like hit an upgrade and like a shield or something like that. But I think it's more consistently, like you said. I'd rather just pay what's Fang Fighter 3. I'd rather pay 3 for a 3/2 space and defeat an upgrade.
I like the art.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I thought it was
I love
prequels,
these
but Tyler
droidicus.
said it's Rebels. Happened in
Mhm.
Rebels.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, on to the next one. We got a 6-cost ground unit, the Bounty Hunter Crew. It is a villain cunning aspects. Has 4 attack, 4 health, Underworld Bounty Hunter traits, and then has ambush and has when played, you may return an event from a discard pile to its owner's hand. Cycling is nice. 6 for 4/4 is really tough. There's got to be something that's like key to your deck that you really want, and obviously, like I'm thinking playing this in Yellow Villain. If I'm playing this in Mono Boba, cycling Cunning is obviously going to be really, really good to play that again. If I'm playing Boba Command, cycling Overwhelming Barrage is really, really good. But is it worth it in a deck? I don't know. It's something that I'll probably end up trying. It has ambush, so it could like snipe out a smaller unit that's still on the board. But for 6, 4/4 is just terrible. It feels so bad.
Yeah, I feel like the problem with all these draft cards that they revealed yesterday are they're just all too expensive, except for Mothma. Like, all these, if they were one less, will just be that much better. But
Yeah.
Eh.
You gotta have a good event you really, 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 really want that you probably can't pay for until next round.
I mean, this is your whole. You're paying to get the event back, really. Like all the card itself, you're just paying to cycle your hand.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's your
they're
turn
being-
for the.
They're being very cautious with tutoring and recurring cards in this game. It feels like Search Your Feelings at 4 feels terrible, but like I guess they're just being super cautious to not end up with anything that's broken combo kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because this is your whole turn,
Oh. Oh, wow.
usually.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely you are playing this for 6 resources and then still able to play whatever it is you took back. You're gonna have to wait till next turn to do that. All right, those are all the spoilers. We did it. I mean, technically we have 3 more, but they're all a blue, red, and yellow generic bases in Capital City, Kestra City, and Chopper base.
So instead of talking about them, what is your favorite base art?
favorite base art
Look,
of the
has
3 of
always
these?
been a big one. Even
Of
when
all
the
12 at this point, we have all 12
Oh.
bases.
Let me do a form search. Let me bring up.
You just type
bases.
in is:"base." It'll show all 12.
Man, Jeddah City looks amazing. Chopper base is awesome.
I still
Echo
think Lothal
base
for me.
looks really good. Capital City on Lothal. Those are, I think, my top ones. If I had to pick one, it might honestly be Jeddah or Chopper. I'm gonna go Jeddah.
I like that we're all.
Yeah, we're all tilting our heads.
You're tilting your head.
I'm tilting my head because I didn't click on all of them individually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's not any art I don't like on the bases. Like, it's all really good.
These are all gonna look fantastic as hyperspace, I think.
And foil too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I don't really have a favorite. They're all good artwork.
what's
I think
your
all the artists
favorite?
did good.
I'm gonna want to show up to my draft with 8 foil 8 foil hyperspace bases every time.
Yeah.
What's the worst one?
Ooh.
The worst art?
Tarkentown feels like the most bland to me, I think.
I was a security complex.
I'd say admin tower.
Command center. It's so
Tower's
boring. It's like a side of a command center.
We all
It's
pick
really
different
well
colors.
done. It's the side of the Death Star.
We all
It's
pick
just-
different colors.
It's just this.
Look at that.
It's just boring.
You're boring.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all the spoilers. We got through it. We're gonna jump in. We just have a few podcast questions. And the first few we got, we're gonna start in our Discord. If you guys wanted to look over there, we're gonna start with Jedi Geek Girl from iRebel. And the first question that she has for us says, "Let's say that one or both of the remaining leaders are out of the blue characters from SOR's era. Who would you have them be and why?" So the two leading guesses are Palpatine, right, and Chirrut. And so if it's not them and it's a character that's out of the blue that you wouldn't think would be in these slots.
Oh, out of the blue. I was like, not
out of
blue?
blue.
Like not Luke or Chewbacca? What are we going here?
Yeah, so like a lesser known character, who do you think might fit that villain command and blue hero vigilance?
Hero vigilance. Huh.
I mean, Hero Vigilance would be, I mean, out of the blue would be any High Republic Jedi. And they'd be really cool. Like the, what is the species that Bosk is?
Trandoshan?
Yeah, the Trandoshan Jedi. That would be really cool. Logan Greatstorm, something like that. But if we're like sticking into the traditional 9 movies, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess she said from SOR's era.
Okay.
From SOR's era, okay.
Still with like
So
episode
that'd be
4.
the original trilogy. So there's only one Jedi, so it can't be a Jedi. Huh. Who would be vigilant?
An Ewok? Chief Charpa. He's coming in.
Chief
I mean-
Chirpa.
Wedge could be a good vigilant leader.
I could see that.
That could be fun.
Then Villain Command, I feel like an out of the
Villain
blue one
Command's
would just be
hard
like-
because it's just like you pick one of the admirals. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
There's not really a lot of options there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next is, what are your current top 10 worst non-leader cards in the game? We don't necessarily have to list all 10 because that might take a little bit, but
You
maybe,
can go read our article because we listed 16.
yeah, you can head over to garbagerollers.com and check out theirs. Some of
I
them
mean, we
dude, I've
talked about a
already,
few
like-
of them today. Vanguard Ace. There's just nothing to do with it in set 1.
Yeah.
Tactical Advantage is one that's always talked about a lot.
Galactic Ambition.
Yep, there's
Yeah.
just no payoff for that yet. A lot of people will tell you, "I am your father," even though it's
Yeah.
super cool. Like, it's just not playable because you never get what you want out of it. Volunteer Soldier, Flockton's favorite card.
yeah.
Y'all are sleeping on it. I'm telling you.
Cantina
Did-
Brugger.
Didn't one of you pick like 30 HP bases or something?
Jason did, yeah. Impossible Dreaming. Yeah, at the beginning, I was like, somebody can pick this if they want to. I will allow it. The Vigilant Honor Guards is one I picked. It's just getting the debuff on stats because you have Sentinel, but you don't actually have Sentinel. Because it's just, once it takes damage, it's gone. It's just so tough.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
when that goes against Vader in the starter deck or whatever. It's like, the thing gets
Oh,
pinged.
pinged you. Sorry, didn't even have to swing into it.
Patrolling Viewing. Sucks,
Yep.
too.
I'm not a fan of the Emperor's Royal Guard. Just because you only get Sentinel if you have an official, and it's like, okay, you have to have an official to have the Sentinel. I'm not a fan.
All right.
Depends on the deck. I mean, that's more usable than the military one. The militia. It's the same stats, 3/4, but you have to have 6 or more resources for it to have Sentinel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would rather play Royal Guard over that, though.
And also, you probably assume that Palpatine's coming as the villain green, and he'll get that. It's a +1 defense, so he becomes a 3/5.
Yeah, 3/5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of. I mean, we talked
Yeah,
about a
there's-
lot of them today. They're just
yeah, there's-
draft cards.
It's in a few of the decks, or one of the decks, or two of them I played, and I never got to play it. The one time I wanted to play it, I think I had Tarkin out, but then Tarkin died. I'm like, well, now I'm not playing him. So it's like,
Oh yeah, he's been cut from Tarkin.
it was
I
like,
have
I
him
was like,
available.
okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like your article covered a lot of the ones I would pick. Chimera, I'm Your Father, Vigilant Honor Guard, Tactical Advantage, Slow
97th
Steamer.
Legion. Ugh.
Yeah, 97.
Oh, Flock's gonna fight you.
It was,
Says that car's real good, dude.
Sleepers, y'all are
It's got
sleeping
big
on.
numbers, guys. It's gonna be good.
Misi
It's
Big
got
If
Numbers.
we are
97
sleepers-
units.
If we are sleepers, Flock is an insomniac.
Guys, if I go through my whole deck, I can resource 30 times, and then it's a 30-30, and I just swing and a win.
Wing him one
Swing
attack.
and a win.
Oh, that's funny. And then the last question that she has is, when was the last time you watched a Star Wars, and which one was it? Film, not anything else. When's the last time you watched a Star Wars film?
Rogue One in November.
Probably like 3 weeks ago, I put on episode 3, I believe, as I was falling asleep. So I didn't finish it, but early December, I watched episode 3.
Our Star Wars was the Battle of Endor, because we watched the entire old trilogy at some point this week when my kids were sick. So we just sat on the couch and I put on Star Wars, and we watched all 3 movies. It was great.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I
Not
think
the
the
sick
last
part,
one for me
but
was.
the movie part.
I think the last one I watched was Rogue One as well, I believe.
It's a good one.
My answer is usually Rogue One, because it's the one that shows up on TV. I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'll watch that. Why not?
Yeah.
It's like it's my favorite Star Wars movie. So
hmm
All right, next up we got from Rick from the old Knights of Ren. Shout out to those guys as well. And he says, do you feel drafting leaders first provides more or less of an opportunity for draft strategy and or hate drafting?
I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. I think it narrows the scope heading into the draft, because you have 3 leaders you can choose from. So realistically, you need to lock into one of those colors at some point. And so, I mean, and if you end up like Xander and you had 3 yellow leaders, then you're just stuck drafting yellow for sure. So it can narrow the scope of draft strategy, but it definitely increases the opportunities for hate drafting, even in the leader draft alone, since you know what everybody around the table has, you know what you can kind of send to the person next to you, to give them options wise. So yeah, I don't know. It's definitely less draft strategy at times, but not necessarily. But it definitely opens up a lot more hate drafting.
Like if you have 2 cunning villain leaders and the person next to you has a choice between a cunning villain and a green hero, they pass you the cunning villain, so you have to take all that, like we saw happen with Xander. So there's definitely elements like that, yeah, where you can have that strategy to like force somebody into that. But I don't know. It doesn't. I'll need to play it more, obviously, but at first glance, it doesn't feel like it offers less of a strategy overall or consistently over like several drafts. I'm sure there's games where it might be it's all just kind of shoot in and not that big of a deal, but
Yeah, it's generally not going to play out that way where you have 3 of the same color. So
yeah.
You're still going to have the option to go for 2 different colors for your leader, and obviously you can splash whatever color. So
Yep.
You're not locked in necessarily at the beginning.
Yep. Cool. All right, next question we have from Adam on Twitter says, what is one mechanic that hasn't been introduced into SWU yet that you would like to see introduced in future sets? And
Dice.
also, go ahead. What'd you say?
Dice.
Dice, yeah.
yes.
I feel like this got asked before and Flock said dice.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I love dice.
I'm like pretty content with feel like everything we've had. I'm trying to think of like, I've really been enjoying One Piece. So I'm like, are there any things that like really want from there that like I would add? And like, yes, in a sense there are, but it would have to like drastically change what the game is, which I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, I want something like tokens or token units where you can do something where you spawn units. It's like from the few times I played Magic, I like the dinosaur eggs where you attack your dinosaur eggs to hatch dinosaurs or draw dinosaurs from your deck and play really, really expensive cards for free for killing an egg. So like something like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense thematically whenever they do the prequel set and have clones and droids. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it makes so much sense as token units.
If they count
Death
as
Touch is
blade.
always a pretty popular keyword in other card games.
Mhm.
That could work.
if they count as played and you can get a bunch of token units out, then you drop Vanguard Ace, and
Ooh,
it's now a
played.
4/4, and you're like, oh, look at him now.
Stonks going
And
up,
then Flock
baby.
follows it up with a 97th Legion.
Stonks.
But yeah, nothing really off the top of my mind. I feel like we've seen a lot of good mechanics and play lines, and like I'm pretty happy with where the game's at right now. And
I would say incorporating the traits from bases. Like if you're playing on Echo
That's a good
base,
one.
you could get a boost to your Hoth Troopers, stuff like that.
yeah,
Like that would be interesting.
yeah, that kind of goes into the next question as well. Paul Johnson asked on Twitter as well. Would you like bases that start with fewer points but give you an advantage? Are you looking? And then he asks, looking forward to draft or construct more. But that first part, I mean, I'm just really excited to see where they go with bases. Right, they could definitely like break some stuff. Like in One Piece, leaders essentially started out as they were either red or yellow or green or blue, like very similar to this. But then they started to add heroes that had two colors to them, and then they started with one less life. So like you got to have the combination of two different colors, and you start with less life. So I'm curious how far they go with this path. There could be something where like I'm curious, like can I bring a 35 cost health non-trait base, with nothing on it, or could I even get two on there and start at 20 or something like that? So I'm curious to see, just how far they go with all that.
There's a lot of ways they can go. I mean, it's kind of like the plots were in Destiny. I think it was when we drafted with y'all, we were talking to his dudeness about how much health would a base have if it let you start the game with one extra resource.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Like I feel like they have a lot of wiggle room to go, like anywhere from like 15 to 35, 40, just depending on pros and cons.
Yeah.
Do you think like some of the other 30 health, like higher than 30, would be like a negative thing where you can have like 35, 40 health, but you start off with one resource? You know what I mean? Something like that.
You need like 40 health for that,
'Cause-
probably,
'cause-
maybe more.
Yeah.
Like starting with one less card, maybe
Yeah.
would be playable at
Well-
35.
Yeah.
something
Well,
like that.
yeah. But that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that they can do
It's unlimited.
in all aspects of that.
That's true.
And then the second part of his question was, are you looking more forward to draft or constructed?
Constructed, probably.
Constructed overall, but week 1 and 2 probably draft, but I'm much more of a
Sounds good to
constructed player
me.
currently, so.
I do whatever Jack tells me to do.
You don't listen
I'm
to
pretty
anything I
excited
say.
for both, honestly.
I don't listen.
Like,
Yeah, it's definitely exciting.
we're not going to play any constructed tournaments till store showdowns in May, and we're not going to play anything higher than that until second set. So it's not like it's going to be like, oh, we got so many tournaments to prep for. So it's not like you're in that constructed grind yet. But we've also played a ton of constructed, so I'm also like, draft sounds great.
Yeah. Take a break from the arts and crafts. Play some TTS. Constructed. Hey, we're so close, guys. We're under 60 days of arts and crafts being done.
That has become a daily question of, is this game out yet?
And it probably arts and crafts will probably stop before that too, because there's probably like a week before pre-release. Am I really going to print out a deck and and play it? So might stop.
Well, it
before that.
depends. Like if they end up spoiling all the cards of like mid-February, you might not have to print much after that, unless you just really want to change up a deck.
Yeah.
I think we just switched to draft, like mid-February. Just like stop doing any of that.
We printed out all these cards, they're sleeved. Let's draft them.
I'll say, Brian, if you want to organize that, you can go ahead. But it's definitely gonna be easier to still do constructive for our in-person stuff.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm in on
and,
PTS.
Y'all can fly Swoo Holocron over to run your draft.
Yeah. That would be funny. Another PAX U meetup. All right, in the last little bit, we have our usual suspect in Dan Oracle on Facebook asking the Star Wars questions. He says, when the hyperdrive of the Millennium Falcon malfunctions, as Han, Leia, Chewie, and C-3PO try to escape from the Haas system, they are seemingly stuck in the Haas system with no quick way to leave. Yet Han Solo says they are in a NOAT system. How did the Falcon cross the gulf between star systems at sublight speeds with their hyperdrive broken? Doesn't that happen when they latch onto the back of the one Star Destroyer and then it jumps and then that's when they finally latch off? I don't remember.
Sounds right.
And it's just L3 going crazy, right?
Yeah, L3 was pulling out all the stops.
Eruption.
Yeah. I need to rewatch the original 3 sometime soon, but I think that was it. I think they latched onto the back of Star Destroyer, they jumped, and then when they were in the new system, that's when they detached and tried to blend in with the trash or something like that. I'm sure somebody's yelling at me.
They fall off before they jump.
Oh, they fall off before they jump. Yeah, I don't know them. Plot holes.
Oh yeah, I think it is because I'm pretty sure they had to release some cargo in order to go.
They release trash every time they jump. He
That's
knows that protocol because he was an
Yeah.
Imperial.
What's your last name? Solo.
Molo.
All right, cool. We did our usual spiel of 2 hours. It's become thematic for us to podcast for 2 hours once every 3 weeks. But appreciate everybody that is still like here, still listening in, still submitting questions and listening, checking out our gameplay videos and whatnot. And
I got a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of arts and crafts, what are y'all going to do with all your copies of cards whenever we get to March and you never need them again?
Probably
They
trash because if you saw the way Flock and Brian cut some of these cards. Wait.
Dude,
Oh
mine are
my gosh,
perfect.
I meant to tell this story earlier. Dude, I was editing the Vader deck trying to update it because Brian hasn't played it in a while because we've just been trying new stuff. But then once the new Vader got spoiled, it was like, let's revisit it. And so I was like, all right, Brian, here are the changes I'm going to make. He's like, yeah, it looks good. Dude, he had like 3 pieces of paper. He refused to take out pieces of paper. He would just put new ones on top of it instead of like taking the old one out and putting a new one in. And dude, there was literally one card. On top of it was Vader Saber. I took out that. It was a Vader Saber underneath. I was like, what are you doing? And then there were also instances where there were 3. So like it might go like overwhelming barrage, and then underneath of it was Dooku, and then underneath of Dooku was overwhelming barrage. So I was like, Brian, you are making this so hard on yourself.
I wonder why he hates it.
Yeah. Oh
No one
my
will
gosh.
notice. I was determined that no one was going to notice. And Jack noticed.
And I noticed it. So ours are cut very interestingly. So probably right to the trash would be ours. I think. Did you mention in one of the discords that you were gonna like frame it or?
I said I thought it might be cool to just frame a bunch of them, kind of make a little collage out of it. I don't know though. I don't know if I have that much effort in me.
I can send you some of my low toner alt arts if you want.
Gosh, those look so bad.
They're so bad.
Those are the hyperspace versions.
Yes.
Those are the Millennium Falcon hyperspace versions when the hyperspace is broken.
They're mid jump.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it's only the Boba cards because that was the first one he printed.
There's an even worse page with it's got Tarkin
Oh, yeah, we literally said you
leader,
can't use this.
and it was so bad. You're like, nope, because Brian's like, I want to play Tarkin or whatever, and then all of a sudden he looked and he goes, nope, you can't do it.
It's like I'm not playing this. I'm not using these cards.
Sad boy.
All right,
Trash.
but before we sign out, Inception. I know you gave a little spiel of like what Garbage Rollers is, but a little follow up of, where can they find you, how to get in contact with you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we put out articles Monday through Friday. I think they go up at 8 a.m. Central. Just gameplay stuff, or not gameplay stuff. Articles are talking about the game. Mondays we do our spoiler recap in written form. Fridays we kind of do a community spotlight thing now. We did Golden Dice a couple weeks ago. This week will be someone else. Who knows? And then obviously on our YouTube we do post gameplay. Same thing, Monday through Friday. Those go up around 6 a.m. Central, I think, to help out some of the European peoples. But that's really all we're doing right now. No podcast or anything like that. You can obviously keep track of us on Twitter and all that, but YouTube and website, that's the main thing we do.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, and if anybody's in the main Discord as well, you'll see Inception posted in those channels. If you haven't, drawn your eyes to them yet in the video and the article, pretty much the article channel is like 99.9% Garbage Rollers. I know Banana Crapshoot's been getting in there with Space Arena, Ground Arena, and gotten some few other written articles. But there was like one point where I just scrolled up and it was just like Inception, 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 Inception.
Well, now Jank It Up Brian, or I guess now Deploy Your Leader Brian, is trying to recruit everybody to counter us.
Yeah. But cool. Well, I had a blast having you on. It was fun to talk cards. I was glad to have somebody else in the corner to tell Flock that he is incorrect because he just doesn't believe me half the time.
I'm never wrong.
Well,
Never lost.
I'm just not right, but I'm never wrong.
hey, you put those non-aspect troopers in your deck, and let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm
Along
gonna
with
do
the
it. I'm gonna
87th
beat your
Legion and
butt with it, dude. I'm gonna beat your
He
butt.
volunteers to play the volunteers.
Soggy Toggy's gonna go off, dude.
put all those in your deck, and then the cargo shuttle too, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, let's do it.
Bet. All right, cool. Any other final thoughts before we officially close out?
This game out yet?
Amen.
Yeah, I just want to play the game. Like this is such a tease.
Such
going
a tease.
broke.
You love the teases.
It's happening.
Well,
Yep.
57 days from right now is March 1st. So 57 days of pre-release.
57 days till financial ruin.
Oh, I can't wait to see the post of people. What's the rarest version of a card? Because you can get it in the
Showcase.
showcase. I can't wait to see the people that get showcases from their
It's gonna be you.
Pre-release.
their pre-release
It's
packs.
gonna
like,
be you.
I freaking wish, dude. But dude, I
You
can't
know
wait
how
to
this
see that.
goes.
It's gonna be so
It's gonna
exciting.
be Showcase Boba pre-release.
Then I have to play Boba.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Twisting
oh
your
no,
arm,
I
twisting
have
your
to. Oh no.
arm. All right. Yeah, appreciate everybody hanging out so far with us. We got another stream on the what was it, the 17th that we'll probably likely podcast after that. So nothing this week, but then we'll talk about the website in 2 weeks. So appreciate you tuning in. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Got a link to our Discord below as well. And we will catch you all next time.